Welcome back to Invisalign Arena, home of your NC State Ice Pack. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you as the Pack get set to open up ACCHL play tonight against the UNC-Wilmington Seahawks. And Nick, before we get into this matchup here on this Thursday night, I want to first look back at last weekend. A week ago, actually, NC State was here again taking on the Liberty Flames in the front end of that wagon wheel contest. 5-3 win, nice bounce back a couple of times after falling behind for NC State, and then they turn around. Didn't quite have what they wanted in that game up at Liberty and Lynchburg, but a stellar performance in net from Addison Lawrence has earned him a start tonight, and I think that's where we want to start here is in that.
Yeah, Addison Lawrence saved 50 of 52 last week, which is just utterly impressive against a team like Liberty, and that goes to show you just how deep this NC State goaltending roster is. And we talked about it earlier in the season with our first game. NC State's got 3 goalies. They got goalie 1A, 1B, 1C. They're going with Addison Lawrence tonight, who, again, saved 50 shots last week, which a majority of those came on the penalty kill, which is something NC State's got to work on this week, I think, Chris. Yeah, and that's the other thing I want to touch on in that game for NC State, a total of 26 penalty minutes. And talking to head coach Tim Healy earlier, it felt like his team was a little bit undisciplined in that game. And obviously you mentioned the 52 shots. Addison Lawrence really kept them in that game. It was what the coaching staff said was probably the best goaltending performance they've seen in their tenure, which is really something to say when you look at the way this team has played and performed in the past years since they've joined this coaching staff has joined. So really, really good. But again, discipline is going to be key. Yeah, and this is a Wilmington team that has a couple of snipers there out there. A couple of guys that have a couple of hat tricks this year for Wilmington. So something to keep an eye on tonight is NC State. Are they able to limit the penalties? We saw in that first game last week as well. They took a couple of bad penalties. Even the Kentucky game a few weeks ago, a couple of bad penalties. Maybe some controversial ones in there too, but keeping the play clean, and I think NC State needs to work on that offensive zone time, which I think they'll have a pretty good job with tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think this is a good team to open up ACCHL play against, and we're going to get to them here shortly in the Seahawks. But again, I want to look at this NC State team and what they're putting on the ice tonight. Not a lot of changes to last week's lineup, so I think what we're starting to see is this lineup starting to solidify a little bit. Yeah, and this is the roster that Coach Healy thinks is going to take them to the next level, get him the most wins, and I think it's kind of replicated that. We saw the win last week here in Invisalign Arena. We saw them play very hard in Liberty. There is still a little bit of a kink into this roster in terms of trying to get it to be very, very flush, very non-mistake free, and I feel like the penalties are a big problem with that right now. And other than that, though, I feel like the chemistry, though, is pretty much there for NC State right now. I think the problem with them, like I said before, is the discipline and the offense right now. All right, well, we're going to step aside here briefly. When we come back, we're going to take a little bit closer look at those Seahawks. NC State, UNC-Wilmington, coming up shortly.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Oh, stupid controller froze again.
Spending less money, so...
I wondered if you guys wanted me... OMG, it's McGruff!
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog! He's a fake!
Oh! I am McGruff, the crime dog.
He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. Let's take a bite out of crime together.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing it.
You are smart, kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you as NC State and UNCW get set to square off here in a little over 10 minutes. And now we're going to take a little bit more of an in-depth look at this UNC-Wilmington team, Nick. And there's one name that really sticks out in particular who's going to be that straw that stirs the drink offensively in particular, and that's Zach Schrock.
Yeah, Zach Schrock, his last game, he put up 4 goals against Virginia Tech, a hat trick in the second period. And if you go to the night before, he had a hat trick as well for UNC-Wilmington. And this was 2 weeks ago. So he is definitely going to be that main focus on offense. We talked to Wilmington's coach, Coach Brower, before the game. He said he's one of the best snipers he's seen. He can easily snipe the puck in. But outside of that, Coach Brower kind of mentioned how they got to get the gritty goals, and that's kind of what this team is kind of built off of.
Yeah, and that's really where their focus lies tonight. It's not uncommon to hear the coaches tell us we're going to focus on ourselves, and for this team, I think that really is the case. They've had a good amount of turnovers. Zach Schrock, one of the only seniors on this team who can really help lead, so they've got a lot of guys that are trying to just get some experience, rookies as they call them in the ACHA, but they've got a lot of guys that just need to get some experience, so it really is for them about playing their system.
Yeah, and it's a very young team. He said they're expecting 3 players to be gone at the end of the season. They're still trying to figure out who's playing defense and who's being a forward on the team, which is something you don't really see this far into the season. Granted, we are still a little bit early, but there's a lot of unknowns with this Wilmington team. But one thing that's not unknown is that Coach Brower has done a fantastic job in getting to get this team to play to the end. They have fought every game so far. Every single loss that they have is by 1 goal, which I think that just shows a lot of what he's done for this Wilmington team.
Yeah, and that's one of the things he mentioned last weekend. They played UNC Charlotte in a pair of games, outscored them 15-1, but the big thing for him was they never quit playing, and that's going to be crucial for Wilmington tonight. Another thing that's crucial just in any game is your goaltending, and like NC State, a lot of goaltending options for Wilmington. They've got 4 on the roster. They brought them all with them, playing 3 games this weekend, including a pair over the next couple of days against UNC Chapel Hill. So he's got some options, but tonight it's going to be Dylan Clancy.
Yeah, Dylan Clancy has been phenomenal so far. A 1.88 goals against, a 94% save percentage. He's been phenomenal for this Wilmington team, kind of been that big driver back there for most of those games where they've done very well on offense and kind of had those big blowouts. He's going to be up to the test, though, with this NC State team tonight, but to have him in goal, that's something you got to be really proud about and really feel good about.
The crowd is starting to fill out there in Invisalign Arena as I look out the window. We're closing into puck drop, so we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what these 2 teams need to do in particular to come away with the win tonight. NC State and UNC-Wilmington coming up next.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
NC State Ice Pack and the UNC-Wilmington Seahawks about 5 minutes away from puck drop. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi back with you here pregame. Now, Nick, we want to take a look kind of specifically in this matchup what these TU teams need to do in order to win this game. We're going to start with Wilmington. We talked about the fact that they don't have quite as much experience, and it's kind of about their system.
Yeah, Coach Brower mentioned before the game, he wants his players to play the hardest that they can. That means applying pressure every time they can, playing through the whistle, being very physical, and so far it's worked well for Coach Brower. He's got a big test this weekend, but so far this Wilmington team I think has really impressed me with the way they play despite this really young team, and they're just going to keep growing. They're still getting those growing pains right now, but to be a 5-3 team right now with those growing pains is very impressive.
Yeah, and especially the schedule they've played. This is not going to be a slouch of opponent for NC State. One of the other things that was a kind of a focal point for Coach Brower and the Seahawks team was special teams, taking advantage of those opportunities when you have them. And when you look at the NC State side now, as we kind of look at what the Pack need to do to win this game, we mentioned discipline, sometimes a bit of an issue for them. They've found themselves in the sin bin maybe a little bit too much early on in this season. That's going to be a key for them here tonight as well.
Yeah, when you have a couple of snipers on that Wilmington team, you've got to keep discipline, especially a team that always plays with great pressure. They're always on top of you, forcing your turnovers. NC State's got to keep their cool tonight, I think. They got to stay off the penalty kill. They did a fantastic job against Liberty on the penalty kill, but tonight it's going to be a little harder. And I think you just got to take away some few key pieces for Wilmington. That might be the success, but like we mentioned before, Coach Brower wants this team to play very, very gritty.
Yeah, and speaking of key pieces, we've talked about the key piece for Wilmington, and that's kind of my last key for NC State. We've talked about there's really one clear threat on the offensive end of the ice for Wilmington, and that is Zach Schrock. So if you're NC State, if you can get under his skin a little bit, get him out of his game, it's going to make it a lot harder on this Wilmington team offensively.
Yeah, and like that's what I was kind of mentioning there, Chris, on the power play, or excuse me, the penalty kill for NC State. Take away your snipers, a.k.a. Zach Schrock. Coach Brower said it's one of the best snipers he's ever had to coach, and he's been coaching for a very long time. So if you're able to eliminate him on the power play, your penalty kill should do its job and get out of there clean free. But even in even strength, you've got to keep an eye on him. You've got to take him out of this game, or else it might be a very long night for NC State if they don't, with how red hot he's been.
Well, the lights are down in Invisalign Arena. These two teams about set to take the ice for this Thursday night matchup. We'll have puck drop between NC State and UNC-Wilmington after this.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you as we're just about set for NC State and UNC-Wilmington to face off here on this Thursday evening. NC State will be in the all-black, the stadium jerseys they wore last year. It'll be all white with navy pants for the Seahawks. So, Nick, as these two teams get set to play, obviously a pretty decent crowd for a Thursday night here, so it should be a pretty good atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a lot more crowded than it was last week. Granted, last week was fall break for these NC State students. This week, Thursday night game, not much going on around campus. Good night to come out to Invisalign Arena, watch some hockey going on. Pretty good crowd, like you just mentioned, Chris. A couple of people up on the glass already. That's one of the key things, I think, for NC State tonight is to kind of feed off this energy.
But as you get a look down there at the starting lineups for both sides, we'll start with NC State. That front line will be Zach Robinson, Zach Herman, and Joey Govea. On the back end, Ricky Frosch and Cade Cox. And in that, of course, as we mentioned, Addison Lawrence. On the other side, all rookies, as they say, for Wilmington. On the front end, Logan Colberth, Corey Levy, and Nick D'Andrea. It'll be Kai Levy and Cam Trainer in front of their goaltender, Dylan Clancy. We're going to throw it down to the ice for the national anthem. So there's the national anthem. We're just about set to get things underway with a fresh 20 minutes on the clock for the first period. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you here at Invisalign Arena as NC State gets set to open up the ACCHL schedule for themselves here tonight. And I think that's an important one to get off on the right foot, Nick.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disappointing start for some, might say, for NC State with a couple of losses here and there. However, the division play starts here in the ACC Premier League going on tonight. Always want to get off on the right foot at home as well. A couple of good teams right now in the Premier Division. Being able to get on that good start with a victory would definitely boost the morale of this club.
Yeah, when you look at both of these teams, when you look at the losses that they've tacked up, both of them have faced off against a Division I opponent. Wilmington actually picking up a win, splitting their two-game series with RIT a little bit earlier this year. NC State put up a good fight, couldn't quite stay with Liberty for the entirety of that contest. It was really just a 5-minute stretch, a flurry of goals for the Flames Division I team that made the difference in that game. So you got two teams that are pretty tested here, and it'll be interesting to see how they square off here this evening. Face-off won by Wilmington. They'll control at their own blue line. Swung across the ice by Kai Levy. Intended for D'Andrea. It's off the mark. NC State will possess. Cox slaps it off that far wall. There's Robinson, leaving it for Govea with speed. He'll have it poked off his stick, able to regather, and lugs it behind the net. Trying to hold on to the puck as he's pushed into the wall. Puck pops loose. Wilmington clears the zone. NC State will retreat for it. It's Cox. Backhand pass up that far wall for Govea. He swats it in. Hard bounce off the end wall, and it'll be covered up by Clancy for our first whistle, 33 seconds in.
Good first 33 seconds with the ice pack there, Curtis. Able to control the pace, control the puck after Wilmington won the initial face-off.
It'll be Govea to take the drop against Colin Roberts, the Cary native for the Seahawks. It's tied up. Wilmington comes away with it. Some speed there as well. That's Zach Schrock splitting the defense. He'll chase it down in the near corner as you see him up close. Still Schrock. Has it knocked off his stick. Govea picks up the loose puck. He finds an open Robinson far side. Threading the needle. Robinson finds Herman. Powers his way to the net. Lifts it just high. Off the wall. He comes out in front. Backhand try from Robinson is bodied down by Clancy. NC State keeps the pressure on. Emery Oliver on the near side. Puck pops up in the air. Roberts, skate to stick. He'll leave it off for McGrath, who has speed down the right wing. He'll force his way to the middle. James knocked down, but able to swat the puck away. NC State trying to find a possession here and just trying to break it out. Good pressure, though, from the Hawks. Out in front, all alone, a backhand try. I'm not sure if Lawrence got a piece of it or not, but NC State survives there. It stays scoreless. Squirts loose to the near corner. Labrisi will chase it down. Pressure there from Schrock, who knocks him down from behind, and we're going to have our first power play of the game. We got a hand up for the delayed penalty. Bailey trying to chase it down, but it's Kyle Siggins first to it. There's the whistle. And it's going to be, we talked about Zach Schrock, going to be important to this Wilmington team, but he's going to spend potentially 2 minutes in the penalty box here, depending on how this power play goes.
Yeah, and that's one of the downsides about Zachary Schrock's game is he's a little bit of a hothead. He gets into a couple of bad penalties. That one right there, very early in the game, a bad penalty. But just before that, how about that chance for Colin Roberts right in front? Testing Addison Lawrence real quick.
Yeah, Lawrence did a nice job just to make himself big and not leave a lot of options for Roberts. Power play unit out there is Robinson, Bailey, Arini, Cox, and Herman for NC State, but the Seahawks penalty kill wins the draw. It's held in on the clearance, though, by Herman. He'll throw it off a body and hops up into the bench off of Umshed. Face-off stays in the Wilmington end.
That puck actually hit Wilmington's defensive coach in the head. Hope he's okay down there. He's a pretty big guy, though. I think he can take it.
And it wasn't coming at him too hard either.
No, it was not.
Herman will take the face-off for NC State, wins it to the wall. Arini back to Cox at the blue line. He'll walk that line, looking for options, throws it at the net, hit the skate of Arini, still loose in front. Clancy misses the cover. Now NC State controls behind the net. Arini out to Herman, leaves it for Cox, who gives it right back. Again to Cade Cox. Works it over to the top of the far circle. Throws it back to Herman. Over to Robinson. Good movement from the NC State power play and a big save by Clancy. And now Wilmington able to lift it up and out. They'll be able to get a change on the penalty kill. About 1:15 seconds left on the man advantage for NC State. Cox bodied off the puck as he crosses the blue line. Delayed offsides. NC State will have to check up. And they'll regather in the neutral zone. Bailey receives the pass from Cox. He'll give it back. Cox unable to reach it. NC State gives Wilmington a free clear. Well, ever since that first kind of sequence there for NC State, Nick, they haven't quite been able to piece it together on the power play.
No, they've had a couple of chances like you mentioned early on, but right now it's a little bit discombobulated right now. They're able to walk the blue line, but it doesn't seem like they have the spacing right now on the power play. I think right here they're giving a good reset. They got 40 seconds left to attack it. We'll see what they do here.
Made some changes. Second power play unit out there. Govea throws one on goal from the high slot. Patted away by Clancy. Kaufman has the rebound. Back up top, he's got Shook. Playing catch with Kaufman, who spins on a dime. Sends it back up the wall. Pinching down Shook. Trying to gain control. Loose puck. Pops over to Govea. Throws one at the net. Hits a skate and pops up into the netting behind the goal for another faceoff.
Yeah, once again, NC State trying to set up the power play, but the pressure by Wilmington, like we mentioned in the pregame, they're able to pressure you, try to get those turnovers, make some bad passes. NC State right now, they're not getting in position because of that. I think that's why they're struggling right now in this power play.
Another face-off to the blocker side of Dylan Clancy. It'll be won by Wilmington's Roberts into that near corner. NC State trying to pin it there. Thronson in there with Kaufman and Govea. Puck squirts loose behind the net. It's Roberts for the Seahawks, trying to carry it out. He finds McGrath, who can't clear it. Stolen away by Shook. He'll curl and drag, and just missed one over the blocker side shoulder of Clancy. Wilmington clears as the power play expires, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Zach Schrock out there, out of the penalty box, looking to put some pressure on. Space up the middle, and James finds Kaufman. Holden Kaufman carries it across the blue line into the high slot, throws one at the goal, and again, it hits a stick. That's one thing that Wilmington's done a pretty good job of. They've been getting in the shooting lanes early.
Yeah, they have a couple bodies in front. That was a big thing on that penalty kill. NC State was trying to find the shooting shooting lanes as well, which is kind of why they were a little out of sorts there in the power play. But how about Wilmington, though, like you said, able to get in their shooting lanes, take away those chances, and they're doing a good job on defensive faceoffs.
NC State in control behind the net, thrown out in front. Nobody there in a black jersey, though, and here come the Seahawks. It's Gray. Sweeps it past his defenseman and Noah Scherf, and NC State chases it down. That's Cowan backhanding it up the wall. They'll work it up the middle now. Lord over to the near side for Brenner. Looking to the middle, he's got Scott Daniel. Daniel throws it to the net. NC State unable to knock it down. Cowan, one-time shot. Hit a body on the way through. Now it's Brenner up near that far blue line. Finally, Seahawks able to clear. NC State doing a really good job of not giving Wilmington an easy breakout, an easy way to possess the puck. Not quite 5 minutes gone in this first period. NC State has controlled most of the play. They weren't able to capitalize on a power play, but here's a chance for Herman. Firing in, and his pad save made by Clancy. Good hustle there from Herman. He created the first goal against Liberty here last Thursday with a hit. Almost scored it himself here today. Now he's going to turn it over. Quick chance here for Colbrith, and a diving Herman gets a stick to that shot and deflects it over the net. They'll battle for it along that far half wall. Cade Cox trying to kick it up the wall and can't. NC State will retreat behind their own goal. Frosch. Breakout pass up the middle, hit a stick, popped up towards the red line. Robinson chasing it down for NC State. He's going to steal it away from Shane Mosher. Robinson forcing his way through traffic. Has it knocked off his stick, and Cox scores. Well, I don't think Clancy ever saw it. It just popped right to Cade Cox. He ripped it at the net, and it's 1-0 NC State.
Yeah, Dylan Clancy reacts to the shot once the puck is in the back of the net. It kind of surprised me, too, it ended up there. We have traffic in front, which is why Cade Cox kind of just walks in as a trailer and just finds the back of the net. Really good start for the Ice Pack, who had a little bit of trouble getting set up on offense. They've had the shots. They're able to fend off a bad turnover, and bodies out in front. Maybe a personal owned screen for Wilmington cost them there.
And Seahawks come in offside after winning the center ice draw. Faceoff will be on top of the NC State blue line with 14:25 to go in this first period. Well, kind of alluded to the crowd, and a Thursday night crowd typically not quite as strong as still is a weeknight, and a little bit later start for everybody as well. But a pretty solid crowd on hand here tonight for this one. NC State trying to break it out. Shook stalled out along the boards over on the far side. Chris Lawson forces it behind the net. NC State there, though, to respond. Shook again. Banks it off the wall for Frosch in the near corner. Trying to break it out up the near wall. It looks like it hit somebody on the NC State bench. And so the faceoff will stay in NC State territory.
Really good time of possession right now for NC State. The Seahawks have had their chances, but NC State's done a good job getting the puck back, getting some good breakouts. Coach Brower said he likes the Seahawks team to play with speed. He wants them to be fast. He wants them to play hard. But right now, it kind of seems like, for the most part, NC State's been the ones that have been faster than them, playing a little bit harder.
Emery Oliver up against Colin Roberts of Wilmington on the draw. Roberts initially won it. NC State will come away with possession, though. Emery Oliver wraps it around the wall. Received with the skate of Arini. Swatted back up for Oliver. Unable to connect. Wilmington kept the zone. They'll go back on the attack. Centering pass disrupted. NC State quickly reverses direction. It's Philip Bailey with some speed. Forces his way in. Nice pad save made by Clancy. He stretches out the right pillow and keeps it out. Wilmington throwing it off that far wall. Schrock knocks it down. Backhand pass to the middle. Stolen away by Philip Bailey. NC State back in possession. Fanning on the pass, though, was Labrizzi. Turnover. Schrock has a chance, and it gets under Lawrence and in. Little over a minute after NC State opens the scoring, it's a broken play, and Zach Schrock capitalizes to tie this thing up at 1.
Well, one of the key things that's happened over the first 6.5 minutes right now has been bad turnovers. And right there, Nick Labrizzi just can't get it off his stick. Really good job by Schrock right there. Able to make a deke, walk it on in. He's right in front of the net. And for someone like you mentioned in the pregame show, Chris, someone that can snipe like that, who's thought of highly by his coach, that was almost, you expected it.
NC State looking to answer. Quick shot from Jackson Cowan, knocked down. NC State keeps the pressure on with a forecheck. Cam Lord forced to retreat out of the zone. Drop back for Thronson, D-to-D with Cox. Deflected into the zone on the stretch pass by Aiden Brenner. It'll go right in on goal. And Clancy covers for a draw. But NC State, as we said, have controlled most of the game, but for both teams, it's really just kind of been a broken play and a very similar spot on the ice that just caught the goaltenders off guard. Quick shot off the draw by Lohr, misses wide on the near side. NC State continues with the forecheck as Wilmington looks to break out. Pass elevated up into the neutral zone over the outstretched arms of Thronson. That'll be tracked down by Scott Daniel. Looking up the near wall, stolen away by Laux. See teams kind of just ping-ponging and get back and forth right now. Here's Aiden Brenner. Solid hit there from Jess Day to knock him off the puck. Collected by a teammate Chris Lawson. He'll be bodied down by Robinson. NC State in control, it's Herman. Pushes it up the middle, intended for Brenner. Has it knocked off his stick. Wilmington in control. Rink-wide pass finds Tabraham. He's got space through the neutral zone. Fires a shot wide of the net. It'll be tracked down, though, by Nick DeAndrea. NC State quickly dispossesses him and clears it out of the zone. Now Kai Levy. Moving it there for his brother and Corey. Can't go anywhere with it. It'll be pinned just inside of the Wilmington blue line. Seahawks come away with it. It's Kai. Cross for DeAndrea. He'll cut down that left wing. Has it knocked off his stick. Lawson turnaround shot doesn't get through. And now it's Ricky Frosch. Lifted up and out. Getting a piece of it, Harmon. NC State with an odd man rush if they hurry. Robinson dropped for Harmon. Back to Robinson. He can't get the shot away. NC State with a 3-on-1 there. Couldn't put it home. Wilmington looking to move back the other way. Levy. As his pass deflected, Cade Cox picks up the loose puck for the Ice Pack. Gains the red line. He'll swat it in. NC State in on the forecheck. They've got Oliver, Herman, and Arini out there as the forward line. Frosch and Cox, the two defensemen. But now Cox will track it down as the bouncing puck on a pass hopped his stick, and he's a little bit too nonchalant. Knocked off the puck. Chance for Wilmington. Big save made by Lawrence. Still loose in front, and it's poked up over the net by McGrath. NC State able to clear the zone and clear the danger for now, but NC State just a couple of mental lapses, potentially costing them a couple of goals. Cox again stood up at the blue line. Loose puck picked up by Arini. He'll walk it in across for Oliver, who couldn't quite handle the pass. He'll send it down low where Arini takes over again. Banks it off the wall for Bailey. He'll carry it behind the cage. Backhand pass out to the point. Labrizzi quickly sends it back down low for Oliver behind the net. Leaves it off there for Arini. Tried to center and couldn't. Spins out of pressure though does Arini. Twirls it in front. Nobody there in a black jersey to direct it on goal, and the Seahawks alleviate the pressure for now. Not quite halfway through this first period. NC State opened the scoring with 14 and a half minutes to go, and about a minute and a half later it was Wilmington evening things up. Seahawks have control right now. Elevated into the NC State zone. It hops through the skates of Alex James, and DeAndrea trying to track it down for the Seahawks. Can't do so. Nick Shook will carry it out for NC State. A little chip and chase as Kaufman heads into the near corner for it. Well skated behind the net. Hands it off in that far corner for James. Looking out in front, no option, so he'll lug it behind. Steers it back out to the point for Thronson. Throws one towards the goal. Padded away nicely by Dylan Clancy. And Kaufman will put pressure on over on that far side. Lifted up and out of play now by Wilmington, just trying to clear the zone. And so NC State with an offensive zone face-off. And since it was cleared out of play from their defensive zone, Wilmington going to have to keep those same 5 out there. NC State has pinned them there for a little while now.
Yeah, NC State, though, has gotten away with a couple of bad passes, a couple of sloppy plays. They had that really good chance with Herman before, but they try to be a little too cute with it, and I think it cost them.
Shot there on the ice from Shook, just missed wide. NC State trying to keep the pressure on, and Clancy wants to slow things down, so he'll cover it up with the blocker on the near side post for another face-off. And now, crucially for Wilmington, they can get some fresh bodies out there.
Yeah, much needed. That was a very long, before that last stoppage, played almost about 4 or 5 minutes straight without stoppage in play. And there was a lot to unpack there, like the NC State sloppy play. The Seahawks having a really good chance to get a goal.
NC State controls off the face-off. Lohr trying to sweep it to the net, got caught up in traffic, and now Wilmington moves into the neutral zone. Sent in by Logan Colbreth behind the NC State net. It'll be swatted around by Scherf, but Wilmington able to hold that near wall. Cycled behind for Shane Mosher. Looking out in front, couldn't connect with any teammates. It'll be deflected back to the blue line. Kai Levy takes a shot, bodied down through traffic by Lawrence. Good positioning from the NC State netminder. Now it's loose in the skates right in front of the net, and Lawrence gonna find it and cover it up for a face-off. But good poise there from the goaltender, Nick.
Yeah, we mentioned in the pregame, Coach Brower for UNC-Wilmington, he wants them to get the gritty goals. That's what they're going to relying off of if Nick Schrock can't get in. There's going to be Zach Schrock can't score those goals, and that's what we're kind of seeing right here, right now from Wilmington. They're getting bodies in front. Even before that last sequence with the puck kind of just loose in front of the net, they got a couple of guys in front of the net. They're looking for those rebounds and those opportunities to snipe one in from up close.
NC State steals away the face-off win from Wilmington. They'll quickly transition to offense. Govea, cross ice, deflected, but still finds Herman. And he'll have to settle it down. NC State sets up the offense, open in front. Robinson can't get the shot away on a bouncing puck. NC State still holds the zone. Nice pinch there from Ricky Frosch, who finds Herman. He'll lug it into the near corner. 2 Seahawks there to take it away. NC State stalls it out on the near side boards, though. Back down low for Herman. Quick pass out in front, nobody there, charging in. Cox couldn't find it. Loose in front, Govea with the shot, and it's knocked away by the stick of Dylan Clancy. NC State buzzing right now. That pass to the middle intended for Herman misses everybody, and that will alleviate some pressure for Wilmington. Stretch pass stolen away by McGrath. He'll carry it in. Finds Roberts high slot. From the far face-off dot, he takes a shot. That'll be swallowed up by the goaltender, Lawrence, for another face-off. But Wilmington, nice little counter-punch there after NC State had some zone time.
Yeah, I was going to cut in and mention how Wilmington needed that line change right there. They had a couple guys that were very tired, but as I was looking at them be tired getting back on the bench, like you mentioned there, Chris, a big stretch pass. Wilmington, once again, able to play a little fast. They're kind of playing their style of hockey right now.
Here's Garrett Arini off the defensive zone draw. Poked off his stick, but right to Emery Oliver, who's dispossessed. Here comes Roberts for Wilmington. He finds the main man, Schrock. Sidling his way through the middle of the offensive zone, and wasn't on the same page as his teammate there. They'll have to reset. Long pass from Laux, misses everybody. It's all the way down, but they're going to wave off icing. NC State will break it back out. Up the near side, it's Bailey. Trying to turn Laux inside out. They'll walk with it. Bailey, shot pad, save, rebound, loose there. And Emery Oliver tied up, trying to put the rebound on goal. Forecheck on for NC State, though. Bouncing puck, not held in at the line by Labrizzi. Just about had it. We'll go D to D with James. Back to the middle for Oliver. NC State's forward line, though, needs a change. That'll give Wilmington the chance to advance. Bradley Gray. He'll chip it in and go after it. First one there for the Ice Pack is Cowan. Sends it up the wall for Shook, who elevates it into neutral ice. First one to it in a white jersey is Cam Trainer of the Seahawks. He finds Umshed, forward for Gray. He'll be knocked off the puck. Now it's Cowan. Doesn't have anybody up ice, so he just floats it down the ice. A bouncing puck all the way in on Clancy, who covers up. And the puck seems to be hopping around a little bit more than usual tonight.
Yeah, I was going to make a big point of that there, Chris. NC State's having a really hard time on the offensive end, knocking that puck down. Zach Robinson had a brilliant chance in front. Had a couple of chances to get that puck off his stick, but he just couldn't handle it correctly. I don't know if the ice is a little choppy maybe. There's something wrong with it, but we've seen bouncing pucks on both ends right now, and both teams are having a really hard time of just corralling it. Another face-off coming up.
Clancy just going to melt things down once again. I think he's trying to kind of break up the flow of the game just a little bit right now. We talked, of course, we know just the NC State identity. They want to try and push the pace when they can. Wilmington trying to do the same thing and force fast play. But I like the decision there from Clancy to slow things down while NC State seems to have control. Wilmington wins the draw. NC State, though, wins the race behind the net to it. It's Brenner for the Pack. Looking to center for Daniel. That's deflected away, and now Colin Levy to the races for Wilmington. Just inside the blue line, throws one in on Lawrence, easily handled. And we steered into the near corner where they'll battle for it. Worked back to the blue line. Trainer shot deflected. Oh, it looked like it hit Lawrence and then popped up into the crossbar as well. Good chance there for Wilmington. Swatted back in at the blue line by Kai Levy. NC State first to it in that near corner. Cowan pinned there by a couple of Seahawks forecheckers. NC State back in control. Brenner sends it up the far wall, intended for Daniel. Thrown right back in by Wilmington. Good pressure here from the Seahawks. NC State hasn't been hemmed into their own end like this at all so far tonight. A little over 5 minutes left in the period. NC State finally breaks it out. Daniel all alone, trying to kill some time and get some fresh legs out there for the Ice Pack. He'll lug it into the corner before he's knocked off the puck. NC State, though, with some fresh bodies out there now. Herman sends it deep. Govea in to help out as well. Ricky Frosch pinching on the near wall, can't hold the zone. Robinson, though, gets to the loose puck, and he'll carry it in. Sidesteps a check. Nice move by Zach Robinson. He pokes it deep. He'll chase it down behind the net. Looking out in front, deflected off a skate, and nobody there in the low slot to do anything about it. Right in front of the Wilmington bench, they'll battle. Ice Pack come away with it. Cox looking for Herman. Siggins there to defend for Wilmington. He wins that battle, and the Seahawks looking to reverse the direction of play here. Be forced up that far wall by Shane Mosher. Can't find a teammate, though. NC State headed back the other way. Herman splitting the defense. He's going to be taken down to his knees. Play will continue, though. No hand up. And NC State will continue to control. Cox sweeps it back behind with a backhand pass for Herman. Lifted back to the middle looking for Cox. It hopped his stick. And Oliver off the bench picks it up. He'll bring it back in as NC State checks up. That wrist shot whistles wide. Schrock to it on the near wall. Pinching is Frosch to hold the zone for NC State. Now it'll be Taberham tracking it down for Wilmington and clearing the zone. This one a little bit too strong. It's going to go all the way, but the first one there is in a white jersey. It's Colin Roberts. He'll be knocked in. NC State swats it out again. That was Oliver trying to create some space for NC State to get a change. Stealing the stretch pass. Arini takes a shot. Blocker down by the goaltender Clancy. And again, Wilmington clears it out to neutral ice. Here's James. Throws it. Ooh, that one deflected off the hand of Colin Roberts, who will shake it off and continue to play. Zach Schrock chops it up the wall and out. And now Roberts is going to give chase on the forecheck. Handled nicely by James. Backhanded up the wall for Labrizzi, having trouble with a bouncing puck yet again. Now James in the low slot in the NC State end. He'll steer behind the net, looks up the near wall where he's got Philip Bailey. Across the red line and into the offensive zone. Bailey dumps it in. Looks like NC State offensively going to need another change here soon. Stepping in, though, Shook, fresh from the bench, steals it away at the blue line. Oh, what a save by Clancy. He had to be ready on a moment's notice there. And he steps out, makes a great glove save.
It's flashing the leather there. Like you mentioned before at that last stoppage, once again, a really long play without any stoppage. And Clancy trying to control the game. He just controlled it right there with a beautiful save, flashing the leather. NC State, another offensive zone face-off. Can they get set up?
McEnany wins it over to Shook on the far wall. He'll have it poked off his stick. Kai Levy taken down. NC State in control. Kaufman backhand shot and a save made by Clancy.
Yeah, good backhand right there from Kaufman, able to fight to get that puck and get right in front of the net. I feel like he shot that a little late, because if he shot it at the same time, he could have looked a little bit to the left. There's a little bit of an opening there, but nevertheless, still take that shot, no matter if even if it's into the body. You never know.
NC State holds the zone off the draw. Chipped up the near wall where Nick Shook can control. Leaves for McEnany. Back up to the blue line. James unable to hold the zone. Man, that puck is bouncing around on these guys here in this first period. Colin Levy carries it deep. Thrown to the middle. Ooh, hit a body. Lawrence was ready for it, but it never got directed on goal. Now it's Kai Levy. Handed off in that far corner. Shot through traffic by Deandra, deflected wide. Loose puck in front. All kinds of chaos in front of Lawrence right now, but the puck stays out. Holden Kaufman now in control. Across the blue line, hands it off for Shook. Has space to the high slot, fires one, and it's steered away by the right pad of Dylan Clancy. Rebound picked up by Lawson. Has plenty of space up the near right wing. Throws it off the shin pads of Scherf. And it looks like Wilmington needs the change this time, so NC State will possess. Just got to look at the shot totals so far this period. 13-8 in favor of NC State. Feels like it could be a lot more lopsided the way that they've pinned Wilmington in their own end for a large portion of this first frame. And again, they'll take it away at the blue line. Robinson knocks it back to the defense for Cowan, who banks it off the wall and into the Wilmington zone. Retreating back behind his own net for Harrison Laux. Sent up the near wall now. Scherf gloves it down, didn't hold the zone though, and it's offside, so the face-off will be in front of the Wilmington bench.
What a chance for Wilmington. Chris Lawson right in front of the net. Had the whole bench thinking he scored. They all stood up in celebration, but it just didn't find the back of the net. Another great chance for Wilmington in front. Now about the poise from Addison Lawrence tonight. He's been phenomenal so far.
Just over a minute left in this first period. We've gone a long time since those first two goals that came back-to-back. If you're NC State, you'd like to have at least one more on the board. But the way that they've kind of controlled the pace and the flow of this game for the most part. Frosch loses his footing, loose out in front, and it's poked over the top. Frosch comes up with his palms to the air. He wanted a penalty. And there's a whistle. And it looks like we're going to get a tripping call. I'm assuming this is going to go against the Seahawks here. Looks like it's going to be Colin Roberts, I believe, headed off to the sin bin for a couple of minutes. NC State, a little bit unfortunate here. They're only going to have 47 seconds of power play time before they go to the intermission. So the power play going to be cut pretty much in half. See what NC State can put together here in the final 47 seconds of the period. Herman, Arini, Bailey, Robinson, and Cox on the ice for NC State here for the power play. Herman wins it to Arini, gets caught in his skates, and Wilmington will clear the zone. Lawson going to chase after it, putting pressure on Cox, who turns away from that pressure and skates it back up the near side. They'll go right past Bailey, button hooks at the blue line, and holds there. Colin Levy getting some help from Lawson. They'll clear the zone once again. NC State will reset with 25 seconds to go here in period number one. Robinson, rink wide for Cox, banked off the wall for Herman. He'll sweep it deep. It'll be held up just inside the blue line though, and Colbreth clears the zone once again for Wilmington. Lawrence moves it forward. Now Robinson cross ice for Herman, knocked off his stick and out of the zone, and that will finish off period number one. Minute 14 left on the man advantage for NC State headed to the second, but Nick, if you're the Ice Pack here with the amount of zone time they'd had, they'd like a few more shots and another goal or two in there as well.
Yeah, and I think NC State's done a good job offensively, but once they get back to the locker room, I think Coach Ely's going to give a couple of choice words to the play, trying to break out. We've seen a couple of really bad turnovers right in front of the net. The reason why they're on this power play, if that penalty doesn't get called on Colin Roberts, the Seahawks had a phenomenal chance in front of the net. So I think NC State needs to clean up their play. I think also the bouncing puck is going to be a problem in this game, especially if we see it early on in the second period.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works. Of course, NC State, chance to take the lead when we start the second period, a little over a minute on the man advantage. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with the first intermission right after this.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
After 20 minutes, NC State and UNC-Wilmington locked in a 1-1 draw. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi back with you at Invisalign Arena during our first intermission. And Nick, good start for NC State, and really for most of the period, it felt like they controlled the flow. They spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, and they scored that first goal, but they really weren't able to pull away after that.
No, and it's been a little bit of sloppy play that's kind of allowed the Seahawks to get back into this game. We saw them get their chances on really big breakaways and just some poor puck choices and passes in their own zone, which I think is something that NC State will definitely address. I think in the second period we'll definitely see that get addressed as well. But as for that offense right now, they're doing a good job keeping that pressure on. The shots, they're coming. They have 13 shots, which is a lot, but it seems like they should have more, and they can easily have a lot more.
Yeah, and you mentioned shots. NC State has the advantage 13-8 over Wilmington right now. So still some action for the goaltenders. There's been a lot of work in tight, particularly for Addison Lawrence of NC State.
Yeah, really both goaltenders this game have been phenomenal so far. They do have one by them, but you can't put all the blame on them.
I don't think either of them saw
No,
him.
I don't think you can. The goal that Cade Cox scored was a big deflection, or excuse me, not deflection, a big screen right in front from the Seahawks themselves. And the goal that we saw Addison Lawrence give up, really you can't put the blame on him. It's just a perfectly placed goal and a good chance there for the Seahawks. But play from Addison Lawrence, he had a lot of scrambling and loose pucks right in front of the net. The gritty Seahawks, as they've become known to be, they've shown up, and Lawrence I think has done a great job staying poised in that net, finding the puck, keeping his eye on it, and doing a fantastic job, I think, of only allowing one in the back of the net, which was an awful gritty play.
You mentioned how well Lawrence has been able to keep the puck out of the net. Our goal scorer, Cade Cox, is going to join us on the other side. So we're going to take a quick break, and our own Delaney Kearns will be back with the goal scorer right after this.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hi, I'm Delaney Kearns here with goal scorer Cade Cox. Cade, this was your second goal of the season, first goal of tonight's game. Can you kind of walk me through what it was like?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of creeping up on the blue line there, and our forwards had a good job of getting the puck in deep, and it kind of popped out into the slot area there, and I was just happened to be on top of it, so I tried to get a hold of it and lay it on net, and luckily I think there was a screen in front, and so I was able to get it by the goalie without him seeing before it was too late. So that's kind of how it went in.
It seems that the puck's a little bit bouncy out there, a little bit hard to contain. How are you guys going to adjust that going into the second period?
I think with the fresh sheet, guys might think to get a little, do a little bit too much. So I think we just got to focus on keeping it simple, moving the puck quick, making the small plays, and getting the puck deep and not trying to stick handle, because that's when stuff bad can happen. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Cade.
Yeah.
I'm Delaney Kearns. We'll be right back with Ice Pack Hockey in a minute.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena. We're about halfway through the first intermission. 1-1 NC State and UNC-Wilmington. Nick, and we just had a quick conversation with Cade Cox, the goal scorer for NC State, and kind of the theme of the two goals was getting in front of the goaltender, disrupting his vision, and not allowing him to see it cleanly.
Yeah, I went up and asked him personally. I was like, was that goal solely on the Seahawk defense, just setting a screen on their own goal? And he said pretty much. Dylan Clancy never saw that puck coming until it was behind him in the back of the net, and NC State was already celebrating. That's when he finally made the reaction for it. And I think that's going to be the common theme for this game, like you mentioned. It's going to be who can get the most bodies out in front and screen. We've seen both teams do it a lot. We've seen the grittiness from the Seahawks being able to do it. We've seen NC State as well kind of use Wilmington's own players as a screen. So I think that's going to be a big story, but I think a bigger story that first period was the puck being very bouncy.
Yeah, it was certainly a little bit tough to handle. We'll see how they handle that in the second period. But another thing I want to look at here specifically is the way that Wilmington played in their defensive zone. Because as we've talked about a good amount, NC State controlled the flow. Mm-hmm. They hemmed Wilmington into their zone. Other than really a couple of flurries that the Seahawks had at the other end, NC State controlled the play, controlled the puck for the most part, but only ended up with 17 shots. What was it that Wilmington was doing in the defensive end that you saw?
I think Wilmington just had a lot of bodies in front of the net, and on that power play, that penalty kill for the Seahawks, they did a fantastic job at taking away the shooting lanes, like we mentioned during the broadcast. Doing a really good job at that, and I think they're also getting a little bit of luck. We've seen NC State have a couple of hard times controlling the puck on their stick. We saw a good chance, I believe it was Zach Herman, right in front of the net, had a clear and open lane to shoot. He just never could keep that puck down and flat on his stick to get the shot off. So I think they're getting a little bit lucky with that, but they're taking away those shooting lanes. They're making NC State kind of play a little clustered, a little one-sided, not getting as much space as they would like. And right now, it's worked so far, but those chances for NC State, if you play with fire long enough, it's going to burn you sooner or later.
Yeah, and then on the other end, I think for the Seahawks, it's been opportunistic for them. They had 8 shots. Their first shot of the game from Zach Schrock ended up in the back of the net. But for NC State, I feel like they've not gifted those opportunities, but they've created those opportunities for Wilmington. There were a couple of instances where just an ill-advised pass up the middle, or maybe an instance where a defenseman wasn't quite paying attention to what was coming up along the side of him, and they turn it over in their offensive zone. So I think one thing Wilmington has done well offensively is take advantage of mental lapses from the Ice Pack.
Yeah, they definitely have. They've stolen a couple of breakaway passes. The penalty kill that they're currently on, if that's not called a tripping, that's 2 great shots right in front of the net that Addison Lawrence did a fantastic job at saving. So they're playing off the mistakes, and they're playing fast. We're seeing them fly down the ice, getting a little one-on-one chance, maybe 2-on-1 as well. I think they just need to settle down, though, on those chances because they're going in a little too hard, and it's kind of costing them. NC State's done a good job at defending it, but they need to start setting up that offense where they get more of those bounces in front, get some people in front, which they're trying to set up. They're just not getting the puck there, I think, and that's their big problem right now.
Well, you mentioned that power play. NC State will have about 1 minute, 15 seconds of man advantage time still left going into the second period, and that's what we're going to discuss next. So after this break, we're going to take a look at what we have upcoming at the start of the second period and what these two teams need to do to break this 1-1 deadlock. NC State, UNC-Wilmington, tied at 1 after 1.
We talk forever about the future, worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Officials back on the ice here at Invisalign Arena. The two teams will be taken to the ice as well here in just a minute or two. But before the second period starts, Nick, I wanted to take a look at what these two teams need to do. And I think first and foremost, if you're NC State trying to break this deadlock here in the second period, got over a minute of power play time to start it.
Yeah, and the Seahawks did a really good job on that first penalty kill that they had, taking away those passing lanes, the shooting lanes as well. They had bodies in front to block shots. They were able to disrupt the NC State flow. If you're the Ice Pack right now, I think you got to play with a little bit of speed. Yes, while setting up, the power play will definitely help you out. If the puck isn't as bouncy, that is something I really want them to do. If it's still a little bouncy like we saw on the other end at the end of that first period especially, they're definitely going to have to try to get a little more creative on this power play. Maybe get their own bodies in front, go for the tip-in, maybe hope for a lucky bounce. And I think that's going to be the key coming out of this first intermission.
I think what you hit on there at the end is the biggest thing, at least the way the game has gone so far. The next goal is going to come off of a favorable bounce for somebody, because these two goaltenders, particularly in tight, I feel like have been really strong.
Yeah, Dylan Clancy's made his fair share of saves, and Addison Lawrence has made a couple of great saves himself. And right now, I think that's the reason why we're deadlocked at 1. This game could easily be, 3-3, 3-2, maybe even 4 with the amount of chances NC State's had, just not able to finish. Both goalies are standing in strong, a lot of bouncing pucks in front. Lawrence has kept his composure, which is something you got to do with a team like this. And on the other end, Dylan Clancy, I think, has done a fantastic job. Despite all the traffic in front, all those chances that NC State's had, he's done a fantastic job, and he's flashed the leather once or twice as well, which is something you got to be proud about as a team.
Yeah, and one thing we kind of talked about this, but I don't know that we've necessarily connected the two, is the two goaltenders on each side are both rookies. They haven't had a lot of experience in this setting, and they've been tested and done a really good job.
Yeah, Addison Lawrence, a sophomore, but this is his first home start for the Ice Pack, second start overall, started that game last week in Lynchburg. And one past him so far, but like we said before during that intermission, not entirely on his fault. He's playing fantastic. And how about Dylan Clancy? He's come into this season coming into this game with a 1.88 goals against. He's had a save percentage of almost 95%. Both goalies going to try to keep it going as we drop the puck to start the second.
Wilmington controls. They'll send it right into the NC State end. Ice Pack with Herman, Cox, Robinson, Bailey, and Arini out on the power play. Robinson, space through the middle. He'll carry it into the offensive end. Cuts out to the right side, looking to the middle, wraps it around, and I thought he stuffed it home, but he couldn't quite finish it. NC State with a good chance right out of the gate here in the second period. Wilmington, under some pressure, will clear it down the ice and get fresh bodies on for the penalty kill. But a good start to the power play here in the second for the Ice Pack. A little over 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Herman having trouble receiving the breakout pass. NC State still with good pressure. Arini in alone. Couple of dekes, can't finish. Spread eagle goes Clancy to keep it out. NC State throwing it towards the net. It bounces in. Once again, Cade Cox from the blue line just throws it to the net. I'm not sure if it hit Arini or Robinson on the way through. And it looks like it's going to be Garrett Arini who got a piece of it. And talked about favorable bounces. There's one.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know if that might be an own goal, actually, on the Seahawks. Cade Cox, if you look at him on the point, he kind of throws his hands up like, oh, no. He thinks Wilmington scored on themselves. They definitely might have there, Chris. It was Brendan Umsted right in front of the net. He might have gotten a piece on it. I'm not entirely sure, though, but nevertheless, that's one way to break out of the little offensive slump NC State's had. It's 2-1 Ice Pack now.
NC State just 54 seconds into the second period, back up 2-1. Loose puck at the blue line, kept in by Bessemer of Wilmington. He'll carry it deep, throws it in front. McGrath deflected it just wide. Wilmington keeps the pressure on his Siggins, swats it back deep. McGrath gloves it down, looking for Roberts in the corner. It hops his stick. NC State back in control. Labrizzi pinned to the wall. Leaves it there for McEnany. Looking across for Kaufman. Hops his stick, but bounces all the way down. Kaufman wins the race and beats out the icing call. Has it behind the net, does Kaufman. Slides it out in front. McEnany with the one-timer just wide on the near side. McEnany back to it. Sends it to the middle, and it ended up underneath the goaltender, Clancy, who will freeze it for a face-off.
How about NC State coming firing out on all cylinders? Another fantastic chance in front. And during that last play, Wade Minter, the public address announcer, announced it was Garrett Arini who is going to get credit with that last goal for the Ice Pack. Had to make sure there. Didn't know entirely who was going to get credit, so they give it to Arini. You're going to say it went off his stick and in, but how about the Ice Pack? They've been flying out there to start the second period. They're winning every battle to the puck. They're able to be physical with it, and they're able to get really good chances with it.
Out shooting Wilmington 4-0 here in the first 2 minutes of the second. Trying to sweep it back in. Bailey collected at the defense by the Seahawks. That's Taberham trying to send it up the far wall and out. Stolen away by NC State. Arini over to the far circle. Swinging a shot on goal was Emery Oliver. Missed high though. NC State back to work behind the net. Bailey backhands it out in front. That pass turned away and looks like the net came off its moorings. And so the face-off looks like it'll stay in the UNC-Wilmington end on the near side circle.
Well, I mentioned it right before we had puck drop here in the second period. NC State on that power play, and really this period, they got to come out really flying to the puck. They got to play fast and quick. They got to play basically the Seahawks style of hockey, just better than them. So far, they definitely have had that done for them in the first 2.5 minutes.
Into the middle, Govea knocked off his feet. NC State holds the zone as Thronson backhands it into that near corner. They'll fight for it down there along the wall. Sent back to the middle, deflects over to Govea. Oh, a flashy save there with the glove by Dylan Clancy. And he keeps another one out of the net.
Once again, Dylan Clancy flashes his leather with the glove. This time I think there was a little more flash to it than that one in the first period. Keeps robbing NC State of these good chances. Again, Dylan Clancy came in very highly respected by both teams, and he's shown it so far that his stats, he's backing them up right now.
Well, NC State controlled the draw, but Wilmington sends it right in on Lawrence to avoid an icing call. Ice Pack looking to break out. Too many Seahawks along the near wall, though. Frosch back in control for NC State. D to D with Cox. Quickly up to the red line. It'll be chipped in by Zach Herman. Hard bounce off the wall. Govea beat to it by Levy. NC State pins it along that far wall. Levy working against Govea, who comes away with it for NC State. Sweeps it to the middle, ends up on the stick of Cade Cox. He's going to be upended and loses the puck. Ricky Frost tracks it down in that far corner, and his pass hits a stick and deflects out of play.
Well, once again, NC State dominating offensive zone time. Like we mentioned during that intermission, I think they've done a better job as well of keeping it in there. They're not turning it over, and the Seahawks really aren't getting that chance on a quick little break. They're not intercepting the passes as much, and if they are, they're just sending them down the ice.
Face-off won by UNC-Wilmington. They'll wrap it around the wall, trying to poke it up and out the near side is Chris Lawson. Delayed momentarily. Lawson able to carry it out himself. Trying to step around Aiden Brenner, who takes it away for NC State. Ice Pack back to work in possession. Brenner receives the rink-wide pass from Alex James. He'll streak down the near right wing, looking to the center, off the skate of Cam Lohr, and it deflects into the far corner where Brenner tracks it down. Back up to the blue line for James. He'll load one up, shots blocked. Swept down the wall by James, sent right back to him. Can't hold the zone, though. NC State will regroup. James still in possession. Knocked off the puck as he steps over the blue line. Forces it into that far corner, though, where Brenner can track it down. Back to James again on the blue line. He finds Lohr, turnaround shot, he scores. 4 minutes and 9 seconds into the second period, and NC State has doubled their lead to 3-1.
We mentioned that the offensive zone attack is the big reason why NC State's had a fantastic start to this period. And watch Lohr collect that puck, turn around, and snipe it home. 3-1 Ice Pack. They're starting to get to Dylan Clancy a little bit. They're getting just a lot of chances in front, which Clancy's not going to be able to save them all. I think Wilmington's definitely got to help them out. But those are those chances that we saw the first period that NC State didn't capitalize on. They had a couple of bad bounces, or they weren't able to get the shot off. In this period so far, we're 2 for 2.
Well, Wilmington needs a response. Slap shot from the point. Blocker down by Lawrence. Turnaround shot on the near side from McGrath. Misses the net. NC State forces it out of the zone. Bailey in transition. Finds Arini in the middle. Working one-on-one. Steps around his man to the front, and he hits the post. Nice job sealing off the lower half of the net by the goaltender Clancy. Great move there as well by Garrett Arini, and NC State keeps the pressure on. But, Nick, I think really what's needed right now for Wilmington is a response here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need one, and they got to help out their goalie, like I mentioned before, Dylan Clancy, with another fantastic save on another chance right in front of the net. He's doing a fantastic job at kind of just limiting those chances directly in front of him, going into the dirty birdie, as I like to call it. But the Seahawks, they got to get something, get a break. Another great chance there for NC State. They got to get a break or something right now to help out Clancy in the net and answer back.
Pressure behind the Wilmington net. Ice Pack trying to hold it along the near wall. Back up to the blue line for Thronson. He'll bank it back down the glass. Back up to the blue line, Scherf. Throws it through traffic. It gets caught up in the slot, and the Seahawks first to it. Thrown into the netting, though, and out of play. And so NC State with an offensive zone draw. And again, Wilmington going to have to keep some tired bodies on the ice.
And that's a big thing as we get more into this game. Wilmington's starting to get a little tired out there, and it's the long change in the second period. We saw them with some long shifts in the first. NC State definitely can easily take advantage right here, especially with the line change being in their offensive zone and them just dominating offensive zone time. That's going to be a big problem if this persists as the period goes on.
You just got to look at the shot totals there on your screen. NC State has allowed just one shot through the first 5 minutes and change in the second period, while putting 7 on goal themselves, and of course they've netted a pair as well. Continuing to put pressure on the offensive zone. Finally, Wilmington able to break up and out as Logan Colbreth carries it across the blue line and sends it in deep. Robinson sweeps it around the wall. He's got Ricky Frosch there who's knocked down, but he's able to clear it up for Govea. Swept to the middle for Robinson. He's able to shoulder off a check and continue to carry the puck in, but we've got a whistle, and it looks like a penalty coming up against Wilmington. And Nick, it's starting to feel like NC State's putting some distance between themselves and the Seahawks, and Wilmington just trying to keep up right now.
Yeah, the tip of the scale really was that first goal of the period, and it was a little bit noticeable, but that second goal was definitely noticeable. All momentum now with NC State, if it hasn't been already. We saw Wilmington have a little bit of a good chance on the other end, able to break it into the offensive zone, but Cade Cox made a fantastic defensive play. Another penalty on Wilmington. It's going to be a long night if they can't get a stop right here, I think.
Yeah, that was Bowman Graves called for hooking. NC State with their third power play of the game. They're 1 for 2 on the first 2. Wilmington wins the draw, clears it down. NC State will start up the power play. Govea, cross ice pass, misses Shook, and Wilmington will pick up the loose puck. That's Cam Traynor pitchforking it out. Back at the NC State blue line, James will retreat with it. A little bit of pressure coming in from Brendan Umshed. James trying to skate away from it. Umshed doing a great job here on the NC State defenseman. Umshed sends it deep. A little bit of help there from Philip Bailey. NC State alleviating some pressure. Umshed right back at it, though. Heck of a penalty kill from Brendan Umshed so far. Shook now with some space down the right wing. Looking to the middle, nothing there, so he'll carry it behind. Carrying a Seahawk with him, that's Kai Levy, sent back up the wall. James holds the zone at the blue line. He finds Oliver top of that far circle, but knocked off his stick. Umshed swats it all the way down the ice, and 3 of the 4 penalty killers will get a change for Wilmington. Under a minute left on the man advantage for NC State. They've got Robinson out there with Herman, James, Bailey, and Arini. This is the top power play unit for NC State right now. Herman works his way through some stick checks, cuts to the middle, fans on the shot from the slot. He'll track it down. Nice reverse hit on the near wall, but they're going to call him for interference. He was a little bit too far away from the puck when he laid that hit. And it'll be 4-on-4 now for 32 seconds before an abbreviated power play for Wilmington.
Well, Herman, he's talking to the ref. He's laughing at it. He's trying to laugh it off right now. That's the break Wilmington needed. How about that shift there by Umshed? Fantastic job on the forecheck, on the penalty kill, all by himself. He killed a good bit of his power play left. There's 32 seconds, going to be a 4-on-4. He killed about 20 to 30 seconds all by himself on the other end. A fantastic shift, and that's that break that Wilmington needed to respond. They're going to have a really great opportunity when they go on the power play.
Wilmington holds the zone off the face-off. Quick chance here on the 4-on-4. Bouncing puck. Lawrence able to steer it wide. That one just about got by him, though. NC State under some pressure here, 4-on-4. Robinson sends it back behind the NC State cage to regroup. Nice pack defenseman Cade Cox in control, being pestered hard. Has his stick. I thought that was his stick ripped out of his hands. It's actually the Wilmington player who lost his stick. That was good effort there from Chris Lawson. NC State hemmed in their own end right now. It is now a power play for Wilmington. NC State moving to 1 for 3 on the man advantage. This is the first power play opportunity, though, for the Seahawks. NC State doing a great job just making it a tough go for Wilmington. They still have a little over a minute left. Cox, threw it right into Schrock, and he goes down. And that's just unfortunate for Wilmington, but that is a really, really tough injury to swallow if Schrock's done for the night. And he is down and not moving right now.
Trainer immediately coming out. That is the last thing you want to see if you're a Wilmington fan. Schrock goes down on a puck that hits him in the face. He immediately went down. He held his head. Luckily, he is wearing the cage in front, which some NHL players don't really see that. He is skating back now, something you really like to see. Just a really scary injury, and fortunately, he's able to come off and onto the bench.
Well, it looks like based on the kind of the body language I saw from him skating off, I think it may have gotten under his cage and caught him in the neck, which, you know, there's some pretty crucial arteries in there that, if you hit it hard enough with a blunt object, you could cause some damage. But he's up and appears to be okay for now. We'll see how his play continues when he returns to the ice. For now, Wilmington retreats back behind their own net as they restart, I should say, the power play. Taberham throws one on goal, easily steered away by Lawrence behind the net. Wilmington first to it, though. McGrath walking the blue line, throws it through traffic. Lawrence tracks it nicely and squeezes it in the glove for a face-up.
Lawrence is really seeing the puck well tonight with all that chaos in front of the net. A couple of guys in front of him here. He immediately skates out, pushes off that right leg to make a glove save. He is definitely eyeing the puck so well, which is the reason why he did so phenomenal last week and got the start today. That vision of his is really coming into focus right now.
Oliver wins the faceoff for NC State. Still loose in that circle, though, and it's swept wide of the NC State goal. Ice pack penalty kill, looking to break it up and out. Brenner receives the pass from Oliver. Puck gets poked off his stick, and Oliver chips the loose puck in. He's going to be knocked down hard in the near corner as he puts some pressure on, but the NC State penalty kill being a little aggressive here. Oliver steals it away in the middle of the ice, throws it away, though, and there's a Wilmington player waiting for it. Up the ice, it's DeAndrea. He'll lift it into the near corner on the NC State zone. First one to it, Labrizzi for the ice pack. He's quickly dispossessed, though. Back to 5-on-5 hockey as Herman comes out of the penalty box, picks up the loose puck, and on a breakaway, 5-hole, and he scores. Opportunistic Zach Herman picks up the goal for NC State. That's 3 unanswered, and it's 4-1.
Well, that was a lot of, you could say, bad hockey there. Herman right out of the box. Oh, beautiful goal. Just kept it low the entire time, like you mentioned. He 5-holed him. Herman's been on fire these past couple of games. Last 3 games now, he's pointed. He's been phenomenal. One of the key X factors for this NC State team right now. But a bad pass by the Ice Pack. They get bailed out by a bad pass of Wilmington themselves. And unfortunately for Wilmington, right place, right time there for Zach Herman, who I called Tom Herman, unfortunately, in an interview last week. I need to address that tonight. Zach Herman, I apologize to him, and I hope he forgives me for it.
NC State moving it up and out. Here comes Govea down the right wing. Looking to the middle, just missed the outstretched stick of Robinson. Zach Herman tracks it down. He'll sweep it down the wall and back behind the Wilmington net. Collected there by Joey Bessemer. Wilmington able to break it out. Just Day pitchforks it in. NC State will settle. That's Cowan at the defense. Stops next to the Ice Pack net. Bank pass up the far wall for Herman. Rink wide, he finds Govea with space down the right wing. Sidesteps his defender, chips it just wide, and Clancy may have gotten a piece of that one as well. Govea back to work. He's going to be pulled down. Play will continue, though. Robinson in possession for NC State. Back to the blue line for Thronson. There is a delayed penalty, so it does look like Govea drew the penalty as Lawrence heads to the bench for the extra attacker. 9.5 minutes left in this second period. NC State on a delayed call, and now Wilmington will touch up, and NC State back to the man advantage.
Gonna get a tripping call, I believe. I'm not quite sure who. Discuss it over. Looks like it's gonna be on Corey Levy. Yeah, Corey Levy. Or excuse me, no, my bad. It's gonna be on Gray for the Seahawks there for a tripping. Is gonna be 2 minutes, and another big chance for the Ice Pack up 4-1. Another 2-minute power play. They had success 2 times ago on the power play, and if they don't take another penalty here, they could find themselves in a really good situation if they're able to strike.
NC State won the offensive zone draw, but they can't get a shot off, and Wilmington clears it into neutral ice. It'll be Herman, Robinson, Bailey, Cox, and Arini, but it's turned over. Shorthanded opportunity ripped just wide by Nick D'Andrea. And Wilmington, you can't sleep on them. They showed in the first period they can take advantage of mistakes, and they'll throw another one in on goal, easily handled by Lawrence, but they've killed off about half a minute of the penalty so far, and they've got an offensive zone faceoff shorthanded as well.
Yeah, when they're able to apply a forecheck, like we saw in the last power play with Umstead, they've done a fantastic job at just wasting time right now, and offensive zone face-off with the shorthanded chance. They had 2 shorthanded goals a couple weeks ago up in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. They're looking at another one today.
NC State controls off the draw. Nick Shook going to carry it out of the defensive end himself. Cuts across ice, pestered by Lawson, so he'll hand it off, and it'll be lugged in now by NC State's Govea. Circles the net, looks out in front. Beautiful cross ice pass. Oh, what a goal! Emery Oliver with a beautiful finish, the second power play goal of the game for NC State, and it's 5-1.
5-1 Ice Pack, 4th of the period. Just coming around the net. Ms. Govea, really great cross ice pass, and then the one-timer coming in for Emery Oliver. Really a beautiful play, and it's all set up by Govea getting around the net, kind of looking over his options, and he snaps a quick pass all the way across to Emery Oliver, who's able to collect it, which is something NC State wasn't able to do that first period, and he's able to snipe it on home. 5-1 Ice Pack with 8:37 to go. It's getting out of hand for Wilmington. They just haven't had that big break that they needed, unfortunately, I think. And when they did, they weren't able to capitalize on it. And I think that was with that 4-on-4 and that power play that they had.
I think the other thing you're seeing is NC State wins another face-off to restart play. I think what you're seeing, too, is NC State is starting to wear down Wilmington a little bit. They've spent a lot of time defending, a lot of time chasing the puck in their own end, and it hasn't translated to the other end of the ice, the offensive side, all that much either. So they're starting to wear down a little bit, and the more time you spend in the end, your own end, the more likely you are to make a mistake. And NC State has done a good job of capitalizing on those mistakes here in the second period. Scherf carries it through neutral ice and a little bit slow coming in. Philip Bailey enters off sides, and we'll have a face-off on top of the Wilmington blue line.
Kind of get back at your point there, Chris. It's the long change to this period for Wilmington, and they've spent a majority of the period defending, like you mentioned. So it's been very hard for them to get those chances and be able to get a line change going in. And I did want to note, we did see Zach Schrock in his first shift back out there since he took that puck to the face and neck area, which is something really good to see him back in this game. You never want to see a player get hit up there, and luckily it looks like Schrock is okay and he's back out there.
Wilmington wins the draw. They're going to send it the length of the ice and in, deflected in by Jess Day to avoid the icing. And now NC State struggling to break it out. Loose puck, one-timer, whistles just over the net after the slap shot from Harrison Laux went over the top of the crossbar. Wilmington, good pressure now as Bessemer sends it deep. Scherf first back to it for the Ice Pack. Sweeps it up the wall for Scott Daniel. He's under some pressure from Day, bodied off the puck. Wilmington back on the attack. Quick shot coming just over the glove side, shoulder and high of Lawrence from Chris Lawson. Lawson centering pass stolen away now by Brenner. NC State working it up the near wall. Day gets back to hold the zone, but only momentarily. And now it'll be Laux sending it deep. Scherf again retrieves it for NC State. Stretch pass up to the red line, finds Scott Daniel, pardon me. He'll lug it down the left wing. Looking to the middle for Brenner. Misses a couple of friendly sticks, but it's collected by Ricky Frosch at the blue line. He'll look back out to the high slot. Cox fires one. Pad save made by Clancy. Rebound didn't get to the net. Now loose for Frosch to tee one up, and it looked like it was Clancy getting a blocker to that one. Wilmington able to skate it out of the zone. That's DeAndrea. Cox takes it away from him. D to D for Frosch. Looking up ice for Kaufman. It's off the stick of Laux, so no icing, as Holden Kaufman first to it behind the Wilmington net. Loses an edge, right back on his feet though. Backhand pass out to Frosch on the far wall. He'll sweep it to the middle, and it's disrupted in front by the Wilmington defense. That was Cam Trainer, who got in front of Nick Shook. Shook has trouble handling the pass on the near side. DeAndrea loses an edge now, and NC State collects. It's Shook again. Down the right wing, trying to power past his defender right in on goal, and it'll be right into the red basket of Dylan Clancy, who holds on for a draw.
How about that chance there for Nick Shook? He made a mistake at the defensive end. He made the hit to get the puck back, and made a couple of nice moves on his way to a good shot. Not a high-quality shot, but shots on goal are still a positive thing, and especially right in front. Gives NC State a good offensive zone face-off with 6.5 to go.
NC State tried to advance the draw. That was McEnany. They will possess. Kaufman steps to the slot. Backhands it on goal. It bounces up into the glove of Clancy. He'll hold on for another face-up. NC State doing a good job of sustaining the pressure and keeping Wilmington on the defensive side of the ice. We talked about having to keep an eye on Zach Schrock. Well, you don't have to keep too close an eye on him if he doesn't have control of the puck. And NC State has done a really good job of keeping it away from him. Kai Levy collects the loose puck for the Seahawks back behind his own net off the faceoff. Wilmington will break it out. Pass through the middle. Received by Roberts. Bodied off the puck, though, by Govea, and they'll battle in the far corner for it now. Govea wins that battle. He finds Robinson. Looks across the ice. Labrizzi, skate to stick. He'll carry it in, but it's going to be offsides as Herman got tangled up with the defenseman Kai Levy, who was skating backwards, and he couldn't stay on side, but little extracurriculars down there by the Wilmington net. You're going to see a little bit more of that as this game kind of distances itself, I would say.
Yeah, but how about that defensive play on the other end by Govea and Alex James? I think Alex James has played one heck of a game so far defensively. He stopped Wilmington from those good chances. A little bit of a backwards odd number chance there for Wilmington 1-on-2. And he kind of just gets pinched in by Govea and Alex James. Quick turnover resulted in another chance for the Ice Pack, who just picked up a penalty. I think they're going to get Labrizzi once again.
And I don't know how Labrizzi feels about it. He's kind of knocking the puck, and honestly, I think Colbreth may have just kind of toe-picked there and lost an edge, but visually you can see how the official puts the hand up. It'll be a tripping penalty to NC State's Nick Labrizzi. And it'll be the second power play opportunity of the game and of the period for the Seahawks.
Well, Well, if they ever wanted to come back in this game, I think they have to score on this power play. Just under 6 to go here in the second period. If you cut the lead to 3 and you keep it at 3 headed into the third, your chances of coming back in this game definitely improve. But winning that draw right there and having it be shot down right away with Arini flying to the puck trying to win that battle, it's not going to result well. I think they've got to kind of get something set up offensively, which has been a big struggle today for Wilmington.
They've got a little extra space to do it now. Taberham tries to fire one on goal, hits Callan with it, though it's directed wide. Now the Seahawks can set up the power play. McGrath walking the blue line. Back to the near side wall on the hashes. Roberts, he'll circle with it, leaves it for McGrath again. Cross ice, one-timer coming. Taberham misses wide, and it's steered into that far corner. Wilmington continues the pressure on the power play. It's Roberts with some space along the goal line. Walks it out into the slot, looking for the backhand try, and he shovels it right into the gut of Lawrence for an easy save. Still 1:15 left on the power play.
I think Roberts held on to the puck a little bit there. He wanted to get a shot off early with the backhand, but he held it for a little too long, and McGrath was calling for it for the one-timer just above the red dot. He didn't get the puck. It's going to give them another offensive zone face-off, but a missed opportunity there.
McGrath receives the draw quickly across D to D. It'll be swatted in by Nolan Taberham. He's had a couple of chances as Taberham on this power play. McGrath bodies down the clearance on the near side. Colbreth now taking it to the net, trying to slide one through, and he does. Sneaks one through the 5-hole of Lawrence, and it's now a 5-2 game. And on what was really kind of a must-score power play, Wilmington comes through.
Really good play there by Colbreth, as you mentioned. Like you said, he was very sneaky getting his way through. It looked like he 5-holed Addison Lawrence there. Just kind of caught him off guard and by surprise. Something Lawrence has done a fantastic job of tonight is keeping that vision. But right there, sometimes that vision can backfire a little bit if you keep your eye on it too long and don't react enough. And just kind of getting it through that 5-hole there, like I mentioned, that is massive for Wilmington to try to get back in this game. That needs to be a big momentum boost.
Well, and they'd love to get another one. I think if you really want to put this game within reach heading to the third, they need to be within at least 2 of NC State, if not a little bit closer. And you can see the extra jump in their step now. They won the draw. They're starting to control play a little bit more. And they've got NC State on their heels. Oliver knocked off the puck. Loose in the high slot. There it is. Directed on goal, and Lawrence able to swallow up the rebound after making the save on the deflection from Lawson. But continued pressure here from Wilmington.
Yeah, they definitely used that goal as a big jump started their offense, that power play really, but really good job in puck control for Addison Lawrence. Had a bounce in front, got his mitt down on it. How about Chris Lawson there in front, though? Wilmington's trying to get to that grittiness like we mentioned in the pregame that Coach Bauer had mentioned. They're starting to show it with a little bit of physicality there in the corner.
NC State comes away with it off the defensive zone draw. Labrizzi loads up a stretch pass for Arini that soars past him, but a great job by the captain hustling to the puck to beat out icing. Bailey, backhand pass in front for Oliver, and it looks like we got another penalty coming up. Ooh, no, actually, I think he's pointing at the net that came off the line once again. And so an offensive zone draw for NC State. Maybe a little bit of a break, too, as Wilmington was looking to reverse and go back the other way.
Yeah, I'm surprised the goal did come off. NC State had a pretty good chance right in front of the net. Good defensive play being made by a couple of the Wilmington defenders. But like you mentioned, right in the middle of the play, Wilmington looked like they're about to have a good breakout into the neutral zone. But unfortunately, the play gets stopped. I don't think that should frown on their momentum, though.
Labrizzi takes a shot off the faceoff, blocked in traffic. Govea can't collect, and now Wilmington moves back the other way. Swept to the near side, where it can be taken by Lawson. He'll be bodied up along the wall by Labrizzi. Becomes a scrum for the puck as it's pinned there. NC State comes away with it. Govea sweeps it over to Alex James. He finds Herman. And Govea again steps around his defender and carries it in. Throws it on goal. Easy pad save for Clancy. And now Wilmington back the other direction. Jason Day loses an edge. NC State with the loose puck, it's James. Day with the pressure. Quick turn from James will alleviate that a bit. James just going to take it himself through traffic. Circles back at the blue line. Nice sliding play made by Umshed. He'll deflect the centering pass. It's a 2-on-1 for Wilmington if they hurry. Umshed lost control for a second, and NC State able to get back and shut that down. Robinson reverses it, looking for Herman in the middle. Stolen away. Siggins sends it deep for the Seahawks. And Lawrence sets it on a tee behind the NC State net. Herman to it on the far wall. Chips it up for Alex James. He'll look things over. Plenty of space for James. He finds Herman crossing the blue line on the near right side. Down into the corner, it's Herman. Turns with it, looking to the middle for Lohr. Got a piece of it to Lohr, but couldn't put it on frame. And now Siggins with some speed moving forward for Wilmington. Gains the red line, sends it deep. Now Cowan for NC State finds Lohr on and off his stick. Swatted back in by McGrath of Wilmington. Now it's Thronson. Back for Cowan. A little over 2 minutes left in this second period. And a pretty dominant effort from NC State here in this second 20 minutes. Wilmington trying to fight their way back into this game, though. Here's McGrath. Drags it around Frosch. Backhand attempt, hits the side of the net. NC State looking to track it down on the near side. Physical play as Frosch and Schrock go together. And if you're going to call the reverse hit they called earlier on Herman, that hit from Schrock before they get to the puck is a consistent call as well. So Schrock, his second penalty of the game, and NC State will have just about all of this power play coming here late in the second period.
Yeah, that's a bad penalty to take. Once again, NC State's going to start the next period on the power play. And from behind into the boards, that can be a very dangerous hit sometimes. And when you're in the offensive zone, you don't want to make that play, because if a penalty like that does arise, you're not in the offensive zone anymore. You give NC State the puck on the complete other end, and down by 3, it's just not the best penalty to take there or time of it.
NC State will set up the power play after winning the draw to start. Bailey in that far corner. And this is somewhat of an important power play for NC State. They do have a fairly comfortable 3-goal lead as Cox from the blue line throws one right into the breadbasket of Clancy. 1:37 left in the period, 1:42 on the power play. But this is a somewhat important power play for NC State. As mentioned, the lead is comfortable at 3, but if you allow Wilmington to kill the penalty off to end this period, and that's essentially what they'll do, because 5 seconds from center ice isn't much of a power play to start the third period. And that's something they can draw momentum from and try and push back. And if they can kill the penalty and then get the next goal, can Wilmington could shift things a little bit in the final frame. But still plenty of time on the power play for NC State. So they regroup in their own end. Poked in by Arini to avoid icing. 1:15 left in the period as the first one to it is Taberham for Wilmington. Dispossessed. Now Bailey behind the net trying to center. That pass disrupted. Knocked back to Cox at the blue line. Trying to stick handle out of pressure. He'll backhand it across to the near side. Herman hands it back to Cox on the blue line. He has it stolen away. Now a chance here as Cox steps in front of his man in Lawson and takes it away. Good hustle to get back by the D-man. Down to 50 seconds left in the period.
And the Wilmington bench wanted a penalty there for Cox. Kind of gave a little grab. It wasn't a full jersey tug for a holding penalty. Referees thought it wasn't a penalty, and I think they made the right call.
Robinson bringing it in for NC State as they've got most of that second power play unit out. We've got a hand up and another penalty coming up to Wilmington. So NC State with a 2-man advantage whenever this gets touched, and it does here with 27 seconds left in the period. So quick 5-on-3 here for NC State, but Wilmington starting to dig themselves a bit of a hole as it's going to be a boarding penalty. Looks like it'll go to number 12, Logan Colbreth.
That penalty looked identical to the one that Zachary Schrock just took on the offensive end for Wilmington. Now down 5-on-3. If you ever wanted a chance to put the game on the hinges of being away, this has got to be the opportunity quickly. Last 20 seconds for the Ice Pack, up 5-on-3.
Down to 15 seconds, plenty of space. Herman, high slot, down low on the far corner. He's got Bailey. Back to the top of the circle. He'll walk with it. Swings it back over to Herman. 7 seconds left. Handed to Cox. They got to get it to the net. They do. And not sure if it was on goal or not. Still loose in front. And now Wilmington will clear. And that finishes off the second period. So NC State scored the first 4 goals of the period. They did allow a response from Wilmington, but you got plenty of power play time headed to the third, Nick.
Yeah, and I feel like NC State didn't really do the best there the last 20 seconds of that 5-on-3. They're, like you mentioned, the 5 seconds could be easily killed off by Wilmington to start the third period, but an offensive explosion for NC State. This is what we've been kind of waiting for the past few weeks. 30 goals for the Ice Pack through 2 periods. And the last 2 games combined, they have 33 against Liberty in both of those games. So definitely the offensive explosion that the Ice Pack have wanted, up 5-2. They're going to try to put the game away with a quick power play goal, go up 4 to start the third.
So NC State 5 seconds of 5-on-3 before just under a minute and a half of 5-on-4 to start the third period, but a comfortable 5-2 lead after 40 minutes here at Invisalign Arena.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
It's a 5-2 lead for NC State over UNC-Wilmington after 40 minutes. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at the second intermission at Invisalign Arena. And Nick, we're starting to see NC State put some distance between themselves and Wilmington. I think the big story of that period is special teams. 3 of the 5 goals coming on the power play for those teams.
Yeah, and we mentioned that in the pregame. It's going to be key whoever can dominate the penalties and who can kind of stay off of it. And we kind of mentioned how NC State took a lot of penalties against Liberty in their last series, and really, I'm pretty sure only just 1 so far. And that's been a key reason of why they're up right now 5-2. They're limiting their own penalties. Granted, Wilmington's second goal coming off that power play. But they're limiting the penalties. They're getting power plays themselves. And it's kind of rung up that offensive zone time even more. And with the long shift change, they kind of took big advantage for it. And you mentioned it while the game was going on. NC State's doing a really good job of wearing them down. And with that long shift change, we're seeing a lot of tired bodies out there for Wilmington.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest thing is NC State just spent so much time in the offensive end that eventually, if you're Wilmington, you're going to make those mistakes, and NC State's the kind of team that can take advantage. But I think you've also got to give some credit in net on both sides. So, of course, Dylan Clancy has done just about everything he can. Some bad bounces for him have gotten past him in that second period. But on the other end, Addison Lawrence, he gives up 1 goal again in that second period, but for not seeing a whole lot of consistent action, I felt like he did a good job as well.
Yeah, 13 shots so far for Wilmington. UNC-Wilmington. He saved 11 for them. The second goal was a 5-hole, really nice play, really sneaky play. Caught everybody off guard that he went with the 5-hole. But other than that, the puck control, I think, for Addison Lawrence has been very key and vital. And his vision today, he's able to find pucks through traffic, able to get to them before anyone else is. And I think that's why right now there's only been 2 by him.
Yeah, NC State in a good position getting ready for the third period. We'll be right back. NC State with a 5-2 lead.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Nick Ferrazzi here in Invisalign Arena with Alex Fong. Now, Alex, going into that first intermission, we were tied up at 1 apiece. What kind of changes did you guys make in that locker room during that intermission to be able to go up to 5-2?
Yeah, we really just focused on challenging the guys to up the intensity. I mean, I don't think had a bad first period, but the intensity wasn't where it needed to be. And they answered really well and showed on the scoreboard. Yeah, we talked to Coach Brower for the Seahawks before the game, and he mentioned how he wants his players to play all the way through. He wants them to never give up, keep fighting through the end, and play a physical and a very fast and speedy game, forcing a lot of turnovers and takeaways. You guys did a good job of limiting that in the second period. Going into the third, up 3 on a 5-on-3 for 5 seconds, then another power play chance. We saw a couple of power play opportunities and goals for you guys in the second period. What's going to be the key message going into this third period to maintain a 3-goal lead? Yeah, I think it just goes right back to the intensity. We got to start fast and stay on them hard, and then, I think it'll figure itself out after that.
All right, Alex Fong with me here at Invisalign Arena. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. The lessons learned here don't end with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi with you back here at Invisalign Arena. A comfortable 5-2 lead for NC State over Wilmington at the second intermission. And Nick, as we take a look now at what NC State has going forward, obviously, just like the second period, carryover power play, it worked out well for them going into the second.
Yeah, and like Alex Fong said during our interview with him, the intensity changed for NC State. And you kind of saw that on the ice kind of play out. They played a lot more faster. They kind of woke up offensively, and they were jolting to the puck. Kind of like what you saw after Wilmington scored that second goal. They were able to jolt to the puck, gave them a little bit of momentum, but the table just kind of kept going down and down once NC State got that first goal. Then the second goal happened. Then all the penalties occurred from Wilmington, which allowed them to build that momentum. And that intensity that NC State played with that second period is the reason why they have a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, but you can't discount Wilmington going into period number 3. We looked at the way that they played at the end of that period. Other than the 2 penalties that have put them in a little bit of a tough spot going to the third, they had started to carry the play a little bit. They had pushed back on NC State a little bit, and they scored the last goal. So if you're NC State, you've seen Wilmington a couple of times take advantage of lapses in concentration for this Ice Pack team. You got to make sure you don't let that happen in this third.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of games last year from this Ice Pack team where they were up in similar situations, and in the end, they ended up losing the game. So it's something to work on this year. What Coach Healy wants them to do is just keep fighting all the way to the end. Up 3, going on the power play with the intensity. The locker room, we can hear the music from here. It is bumping. They have their mojo back. They're going to have to keep playing hard with that same intensity because Wilmington's sneaky. They like to take those opportunities where you make a bad pass or two like we saw in the first period, give themselves a good scoring chance. Expect more of the same here in the third. Maybe Wilmington comes out with a little more energy, but down by 3, they've got to find something else that works for them.
Well, we're closing in on the start of the third and final period. We'll step aside one more time here in the second intermission. NC State with a 5-2 lead.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look at me, you might see.
A person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here at Invisalign Arena, and as you can kind of see off there to the right, the crowd's starting to thin a little bit here late on this Thursday night. We're past 11 o'clock, and I think NC State has really kind of taken care of things for the most part as long as they keep it under control here in the final 20 minutes.
Yeah, and like we stressed during that intermission report, it's going to be key for NC State to kind of attack and come out firing on this power play. If they get a goal here, it might put this game out of reach up 4 and take all the momentum away that Wilmington's going to have coming out of the locker room. And at the end of that second period, it's going to all vanquish if they're able to strike early in this period. But for Wilmington, I think they just got to focus on killing this penalty. I don't think they need to go for the quick breakaway chance that they've been trying to get so far. They're about to get They're going to get Zach Schrock out of the box in 5 seconds, and I think they kind of just need to give him the puck a little bit more. I think that's going to be the key into this game.
Yeah, I think the focus here is on the first minute and a half of this third period, because if there's any chance for Wilmington coming back, I think they need to get out of this penalty kill unscathed. If they end up down 4, it's going to be a really, really tall task to score twice as many goals in the final 17 and a half, 18 minutes as you have for the first 40. So if you're Wilmington here, I think first and foremost, definitely the penalty kill is most important. I think the other thing that you have to try and do is you need to take some risks if you're Wilmington here. I think you're going to see them really play tight up at the blue line here on this penalty kill, try to create a turnover there that can turn into an odd man rush and a shorthanded chance. Because as much as killing the penalties will be helpful and build momentum, it'd be even bigger if they can cut into the NC State lead while they're killing the penalties. So that is the big key, I think, to the start of this period is NC State. If you get a goal, I think you're really starting to put the game on ice. If you're Wilmington, in order to give yourselves even a chance, you got to get out of here without a goal. You might want to get one yourself if you can.
Yeah, they, like we mentioned before, the past couple games, they have been able to get shorthanded goals, but being able to kill this penalty, I think, is going to be most important for them, because they will still have a majority of the period left, just a minute 33 of 5-on-4.
And they've finished off the penalty to Zach Schrock, who's quickly out of the penalty box. Minute 23 on the man advantage left for NC State here at the start of the period now. James with some space. He'll just casually stroll through neutral zone. Hands it off for Kaufman as he gains the blue line. Kaufman holds up on the half wall. Backhands it down into the corner for Govea. So it's Kaufman, James, Govea, Shook, and Oliver out there on the power play for NC State. Govea in control. Backhanded to Oliver. Swept around the wall for Kaufman on the far side. He'll hook with it in the corner, trying to cut his way out in front. Has it knocked off his stick by Kai Levy. Loose puck collected by Wilmington and slapped all the way down the ice by Zach Schrock. 45 seconds left on the power play.
Good start to the penalty kill for Wilmington. Like we mentioned, the key is just to kill this penalty off. They've done a good job at limiting the shots for NC State.
Govea down the left wing, works his way behind the net, looking for some help. Sends it to the blue line as it slides up for Shook. Steps through a couple of defensemen, has it knocked off his stick. A collision there, and NC State's Alex James able to get to it. That's the kind of chance Wilmington's going to be looking for shorthanded. Now they're almost back to even strength. 15 seconds left on the power play. Just over 18 and a half minutes left in the game as Herman's got speed through neutral ice. He'll step around his defenseman. Backhand pass out in front, nobody there to receive it. And NC State retreats to neutral ice. Cade Cox has it, and the power play is over. So NC State now 2 for 6 on the man advantage tonight. Not too shabby. Turnover in the neutral zone though. DeAndrea takes a shot, hit a body on the way through, blocked by Cade Cox. NC State has the loose puck, it's Bailey. Sweeps it off the wall, Arini will track it down on the near wing. Takes a shot, bodied down by Clancy, and he'll swallow it up for a whistle with 18:06 left in the game.
So you've done the one key thing that you needed to start this penalty. You've kind of got that first face down if you're Wilmington trying to come back in this game. You've killed the penalty unscathed. You had a chance yourself. That was Chris Lawson on the forecheck for the Seahawks. Did a fantastic job. Once again, the forecheck on the penalty kill has been pretty strong for Wilmington. The second one, you're going to have to get a goal before the 15-minute mark, I think.
NC State wins the draw. Can't get a shot to the net, though. Wilmington pushes it forward. Jess Day down the near right wing. Furthers it into the corner. McEnany there to help for NC State. Sends it around the wall for Shook. He's knocked off the puck along the half boards. NC State able to get back to the loose puck. Shook will sweep it out of the zone. Wilmington back in possession. D-to-D pass from Siggins over to Taberham. Breakout pass up that far side, taken off the wall by McEnany, unable to control though. Wilmington just trying to bounce the puck up the ice. A little bit of a broken play in the neutral zone. Cade Cox sends it back into the Wilmington end. He'll hold it just inside the blue line. Now Wilmington turns and clears it out. Still feeling a little bit like a penalty kill for UNC-Wilmington as they're going to have to keep tired bodies on the ice. Jess Day ices the puck, but it seems like that Wilmington right now is just trying to get the puck out and trying to get just some alleviation from the pressure.
Yeah, and I don't think that strategy is going to help them out. It seems like they did a better job on the penalty kill getting rid of that pressure than they are right now. I think they got to kind of settle down, get the puck in their possession, and slowly break things out, which is something we haven't seen from them today. I think they got to change it up if they want to get down the ice and get that goal that they need.
Govea to take the offensive draw for NC State, wins it against Jess Day. Quick shot from the top of the near circle by Herman, and a nice blocker save made by Dylan Clancy. Wilmington able to possess out of the zone now. Here's Brendan Gray down the right wing. Trying to throw in at the net, can't get it through the defenseman there, and an errant pass will send the puck all the way down the ice. No icing, doesn't matter because Herman's the first one there anyhow. Kai Levy dispossesses him. Backhands it around the near wall, looking for McGrath. Stolen away by Govea out in front. Herman, oh, a beautiful save made by Clancy as he stood tall on the chance in tight. Govea getting yanked around and now taken down away from the puck. So a penalty coming up to Wilmington, and that frustration for the Seahawks is showing.
I was going to say that's a very frustration penalty, a little cross-check from behind, and then a little poking of the stick after. I believe that's McGrath on there, and he is going to get sent to the box. You can't take the frustration penalties when you need a goal down 3 in the third period. That's just a silly penalty to take. He's got to know better than that. Keep his emotions in check down 3. And like you mentioned before, Chris, NC State 2 for 6 on the power play today. They're looking to go 3 for 7. They've got a really good chance here with McGrath in the box.
Well, and maybe even more so than the potential of giving up another goal here for Wilmington. This is 2 minutes that you have to spend defending and trying to kill off a penalty when you'd really like to be going the other way and trying to create some offense. So NC State unable to hold the zone after winning the faceoff. They'll regroup back at their own blue line. As you mentioned, Nick, this will be the 7th power play opportunity for the Ice Pack here in this game. Robinson, nifty little stick work. Cross ice for Cox, throws it to the net, deflected by Bailey, and he tips it wide. Good chance there for NC State. Now an errant pass from Herman will be a free clear. Wilmington going to get some fresh bodies out there on the penalty kill.
And like you mentioned before, we were mentioning that alleviating a pressure for Wilmington defensively. This is not going to help going on the penalty kill.
Glove save made there by Clancy. Had some trouble squeezing it, but controls the rebound. Another offensive zone draw up for the Ice Pack.
if you're Wilmington. You got a minute 15 left on this penalty kill. You've gotten the puck down to the other end a couple times. If you could win this faceoff, get it down there, and send some bodies down there for a quick forecheck, I think they're going to start having to play a little bit aggressive now, like they've had most of the game. I think they got to step it up a little bit even more. You kind of see it right there with DeAndrea fighting for that puck. Sorry there, Chris.
NC State, as I mentioned, have to be careful around their own blue line. I think that is in particular where Wilmington might try to apply some pressure and create a scoring opportunity shorthanded. Be cleared out by Nick DeAndrea of Wilmington. 54 seconds left on the power play for NC State. Cox sets up the breakout behind the ice pack cage. Not quite 5 minutes into this third period. Cox carries it out himself, goes rink wide. It'll be taken off the wall by Herman. He forces his way down the near wing, sends it in front. Narini finishes. The captain with his first tally of the night. NC State with the power play goal, and it's now a 4-goal lead.
Second goal of the night for Arini, and really just Herman picks up the puck, flies on in, and Arini kind of just backdoors it for a quick little nudge of the puck up and in on a little one-timer, and that might be all she wrote for Wilmington's chances in this game. That penalty really just killed them. McGrath's not a good penalty. He's shaking his head on the bench. He knows what he did wrong. Bessemer as well, a little frustrated. I think the frustration just boiled over for Wilmington with that penalty, even though they just killed it off. But now you're down 6-2, and I think they're about to go on the power play actually now.
Yeah, and looks like Cade Cox, I think Alex James actually got tangled up with a Seahawk there coming into the zone, and NC State now going to have to kill off a penalty. Both teams have scored on the power play. Wilmington at the moment 1 for 2, NC State 3 for 7. But you mentioned second goal of the game for Arini, second power play goal for the NC State captain as well. But here's a chance, maybe a little bit of a crack still in the door that Wilmington will try and put a foot through if they can get a power play goal here.
Losing that face-off certainly not going to help. NC State immediately sends it down. Wilmington's got to set something up. They haven't really dumped the puck in and gone and get it today. They might want to try doing that.
Well, they're going to carry it in here. Taberham into the far corner. Pressure there by Thronson. Sends it out in front, directed towards Lawrence, who sealed the post nicely. Wilmington will maintain the pressure on the power play. Schrock trying to step into the middle. That's shut down. Seahawks still in control. McGrath, D-to-D with Taberham. He'll tee up a slap shot. Looked like Lawrence got a piece of that and deflected it over the top. Again, it's Taberham on that far side point. Sends it down the wall for Roberts. Walking into the slot, he's knocked off his feet and loses the puck. Now Thronson for NC State clears the zone. And NC State can get a change here on the penalty kill. About halfway through the man advantage for Wilmington.
Got to come away with a shot there if you're Wilmington. Just nothing going right for them offensively. It's kind of the big story of the night almost. Wilmington just not able to get shots on net, and they're not able to get good chances with these shots on net. Just 13 on the night.
And they're going to clear it out of their own offensive zone here. DeAndrea retreats to the red line for it. Sweeps it up the wall where it can be stolen away by Cade Cox. Already one goal for the defenseman tonight, trying to step to the middle. That one's knocked off his stick. NC State's Garrett Arini backhands it out of the zone where NC State can waste some more of this power play clock for Wilmington. Behind his own net, Cox fires it up the ice. Down to 20 seconds left on the power play. Here's Kai Levy, plenty of space up through his own zone. Backhand pass off the body of Herman. Levy retrieves it, continues forward. Over to Colbreth on the far side. Or Lawson, pardon me, his shot is blocked. You hear the stick of Clancy indicating the end of the power play as Alex James is back out. And NC State is back to full strength with 12:50 left in the game.
Missed opportunity for Wilmington there, trying to have any crack of life getting back in this game, and NC State kind of just took it from them. No shots on goal that entire power play. You just can't have that when you're down 4 trying to mount a big comeback. You got to get something on the net. At least throw it on the net. Good things happen when you throw it on the net, and 13 times today, just 2 goals, and getting the chippiness going over. Scott Daniel just had his stick knocked out by DeAndrea.
Well, here's Daniel with the puck, high slot, holding on to it, takes the shot. Another nice glove save made by Clancy. He's put that glove to work today, and he keeps it 6-2 for the moment.
Yeah, I think right now NC State, especially at the end of that the penalty kill that they were just on, they did a fantastic job of just wasting that time away, kind of just sitting back on their own end, letting Wilmington come to them. As Daniel takes another rip at it, but letting Wilmington come to them on that penalty kill. Then once they actually show it any life of trying to get the puck, they send it down. That's a perfect representation of killing off not only the penalty kill, but really the game clock. And that's really what Wilmington's up against right now, is the game clock as well as being down 4 goals.
NC State wins the face-off. It'll be Jackson Cowan sending it deep. Good forecheck will win possession of the puck for NC State. It's Lord trying to slide it over to Brenner. Ends up back at the blue line. Scherf shot, hit his skate on the way in and deflected wide. Wilmington elevates it out of the zone. Taberham gains the red line and slaps it in. But NC State will be first to it. Now Lawrence is going to cover it. NC State, there's one of those kind of lapses where I don't think NC State was quite all there mentally, and their goaltender on top of it to freeze the puck.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of that in the second period. We saw a lot of it in the first period there, Chris. And I think that's something NC State's definitely going to have a big negative takeaway from this game. You always have your positives and negatives, no matter how bad you lose or how great you win. And the sloppy play in their own end and in between the blue lines in the first and really a couple plays here in the third is going to be a big topic.
Here's a chance coming in. They score. Number 27, Nick Shook in tight, makes the finishing play, and NC State adds another. It's 7-2.
Well, I got to cut off that big chance there for NC State. We've seen Shook do it a couple times. He kind of gives the puck up right there and allows him to get it back. Holden Kaufman able to take it from him, the freshman connection, making it 7-2 Ice Pack. Any hope that Wilmington had getting back in this game is now officially just kind of crushed away. And how about the season Shook has had so far now? That is his 4th goal of the year and just keeps up a fantastic freshman season.
NC State goes right back to work as they've got pressure on in the offensive zone. James tries to sweep one towards the net, hits the stick at McGrath, but Holden Kaufman holds the zone. He'll fire away. That one misses wide of the near post. Shook holds the zone up in front of the Wilmington blue line. Behind the net, it's Kaufman. Backhand out in front, back in 80. Oh my goodness, another glove save from Clancy. He continues to show off the glove.
Well, he loves
that might be one of the smaller stories of the night, is some of the saves that Clancy has made in tight.
Yeah, most of them have been either in the dirty birdie position or with the glove, and I don't know how he was able to keep up with that puck. It kind of just got knocked up in the air, and it kept going up, and he stayed with it the entire time. Like we mentioned with Addison Lawrence on the other end for NC State, the vision is there, and we've seen a little bit of lapse in that vision there from Dylan Clancy tonight, mainly with the first goal with the traffic, but he still made fantastic saves, and he's been the dominant goalie. Really, NC State hasn't been able to get anything right in front of the net.
Govea to take the offensive zone draw for the Ice Pack up against Colin Roberts of Wilmington. Roberts gets it tied up in his skates. Kyle Levy over to help. Wilmington breaks it out, but that pass misses McGrath and skitters all the way in. Lawrence, smart play there to get out and get ahead of it and cover up as McGrath came flying in.
There's those breakout passes that Wilmington kind of prides himself on, the speediness, the quickness that they like to do. Really good job fighting for that puck, forcing Lawrence to hold it. And they're going to get an offensive zone face-off here. That's going to be one of their positive takeaways today, is at times they played their style of hockey a lot better than NC State did. Really, at most times today, they were able to control their pace, get their breakouts, but I think the problem is defensively and their offensive zone setups, as NC State with another great chance with Govea in front.
Puck cleared out by Wilmington. Labrizzi has control, finds his deep partner in Alex James up the ice. He'll cross over to the far side, looking to the middle. Govea, stick handles in front, had it knocked off of his twig, and it'll be frozen by the goaltender Clancy.
10:14 to go now. I think NC State, they might get in those third and fourth lines a lot more playing time. They're getting that first line out there right now with Arini as well as the first line defense. But I think as the game goes on, they're actually moving this face-off to the center. But I think as we approach the final 10 minutes to play, I think NC State's going to let, like I mentioned, the third and fourth lines get some time in, kind of not breeze into this victory, but still play hard and let some of those guys down in the third and fourth line get that playing time, kind of show the position on this roster as the roster and lineup cards kind of solidify themselves here late as we get pretty deeper in the season.
Oliver up the near side for Frosch. He'll take it right back. Looking for Bailey. That's disrupted, and now it's just Day in control for Wilmington. Looking across, trying to connect with Bradley Gray. Missed him. And it skitters all the way down the ice, and it'll come back for icing. Past the halfway point of the third period, and Nick, I think NC State did everything that they needed to early on in this third period to start to close things out. Picked up the power play goal, and of course added a little bit of extra insurance as well.
Yeah, that wasn't even the power play that we expected them to strike on. It was actually their second power play. Wilmington did a good job killing the first, and they've kind of handled business here as another great save in front. Arini collects the rebound. He'll look back to the blue line. Cox able to settle it down. He'll throw it back behind the net. Emery Oliver on the chase. Taberham able to step out of pressure. He finds Gray at center ice. He'll streak in 1-on-2. Tried to leave it for Taberham, who overskated it. And now Arini in transition. A 2-on-1 with Shook if he hurries. Looks to the middle. Nice defensive play made there by Joey Bessemer, who denied the centering pass. And now I think we have a hand pass called on NC State here. That'll bring the face-off outside of the Wilmington zone. Gate Cox giving a couple words to that Wilmington bench, kind of toying them with him a little bit up 5. But how about that play right there by Arini? He kind of showed his strength bouncing off the hit, able to get a good shot right in front of the net. And that's something you want to see from your captain, especially as you remember Arini only has 2 more months. He's not going to be here for the second semester. I think that's something that kind of gets lost. The captain not going to be here the rest of the season. And that's going to be a big story as we get later on, mid part of October. Right now, you want to enjoy as much as you can of Arini in that play that he's had tonight, including his 2 goals tonight, which have been very beneficial to the Pack. NC State going to have to retreat behind their own net for it. Lawrence leaves it for Scherf. Disrupted, bounced out in front, almost over top of the back of Lawrence and into the net. NC State just slaps it down the ice. And they'll come back the other way after the icing call. But a bit of a lucky break there for NC State. That clearance by Scherf popped right over the back of the net, almost hit the back of Lawrence, and ended up in the NC State net. Yeah, I don't know if that's the sloppy play that's happened around their own net tonight, or if that was just a lucky chance there for Wilmington, but something the Ice Pack definitely need to clean up going into next week. Back at the blue line, spinning play made there by Bessemer to hold the zone. Finds some help down low from Roberts, who has it taken away. Here's Scott Daniel moving forward. He's got Thronson with him, elevates it to the middle. Poking it towards the net was Thronson. Ready for it, though, was Clancy. Daniel again. Holding off his defender and Roberts. Leaves the puck for Lohr. A little bit of a dummy pass there as Daniel will keep it. He's forced into the wall behind the cage and loses the puck. Now they'll battle in the near corner as Brenner goes to work for the Ice Pack. 4-man scrum as Lohr comes in to help. Daniel finds a loose puck. Back to Brenner. Tried to go short side and elevated it up into the netting behind the goal. A good little pressure there by NC State. We've seen it a couple times where that puck's kind of sat in the corner up against the wall, and it seems like every time NC State's the one that's able to get that puck and get another chance with it. And if you're Wilmington, the tired bodies is going to play a big factor into it. And keep in mind for Wilmington, they've got 2 games still, tomorrow and Saturday, over at the Orange County Ice Rink against UNC Chapel Hill. Those tired bodies are definitely going to come into effect as they're staying overnight in the Triangle area. It is fall break for Wilmington, so of course today off, tomorrow off for the students. So I think it's part of the reason we've seen a few UNC-Wilmington jerseys and shirts in the stands tonight. Of course, some of the players here local to the area in the Triangle with some familial support.
But NC State has come to play in their ACCHL opener with a 7-2 lead, trying to add to it here. Holden Kaufman stick handles in, and he picks the top left corner over the blocker of Clancy, and it's 8-2.
Second point of the period there for Holden Kaufman. He assisted Nick Shook earlier. Kind of does a great job pacing back and forth with the puck, kind of getting Dylan Clancy off his line a little bit, not expecting when that shot is going to come, and that's why he was able to roof it into the top part of the net for his first goal of the ninth, fourth of the season. He's now got 5 points, 2 in this period alone. And it's 8-2 Ice Pack with 7:04 to play.
Face-off back at center ice. Govea wins it for the Ice Pack. Kate Cox goes D-to-D for Ricky Frosch, who has trouble advancing it. Some help from Govea and Herman now, but Wilmington sends it right back down the ice into the NC State end, where Kate Cox retreats for it. Up the far wall, he's got Robinson looking cross ice for Herman. Siggins steps in front of that and sends it back behind the NC State cage for Lawrence. Ice Pack try again. Herman steps around to check and lifts it in for NC State to go on the forecheck. Pinned into the near corner. Wilmington can't clear. Cox elevates a pass looking for Robinson, and they can't connect. Now Siggins advances for Wilmington. Intended for Jess Day. That got caught up on the linesman, and Wilmington has to reset. NC State now in possession. Govea across for Frosch. He'll hold on to it and weigh his options. Cade Cox moving up the far side. Double teamed there by a pair of Seahawks. Roberts comes away with it for Wilmington. Slides a pass back to Schrock, who couldn't corral it for a chance on goal, and now NC State can advance it. McEnany across the blue line. Saucer pass to the middle looking for Ricky Frosch, but it's right in on goal for Clancy to cover.
Yeah, once again, Wilmington able to get a chance in front. They still, however, do not have a shot on goal this period. They have been locked at 13. And I think a big part of it is they're not giving the puck to Zachary Schrock in space. The first goal, he had to tie the game at 1 apiece. It seemed like that was going to be the game plan the rest of the game, was to let him snipe it home, but not many other chances for him since, as that one does hit the netting. But
Thronson with the shot attempt there, and I wonder, as you bring up Schrock, I do wonder, as you also mentioned, 2 more games for Wilmington against North Carolina the next couple of days. You wonder, after maybe a little bit of a scare in the second period with the shot up high for Schrock with the puck, if maybe head coach Rich Brower said, let's rest you a little bit since we got 2 more big games coming up this weekend. We want to make sure you're healthy for those. Wilmington back on the attack now. Into the far corner, Shane Mosher will button hook with it. He'll steer it behind the goal for Bowman Graves. Looking out in front, that one got through traffic and all the way across to the near side wall. NC State pitchforks it out where it can be collected by Garrett Arini. Trying to step in, looking for a hat trick here. He's going to be hauled down. Play will continue as Wilmington sends it the length of the ice. Cowan will beat it to the goal line, though. No icing. Stretch pass from Cowan. Tipped along by Bailey as he leaves it for Aiden Brenner to carry in. Sweeping it to the middle from that far corner, stolen away by DeAndrea. He'll hand it off for Lawson with speed down the far side. Chris Lawson trying to step to the middle. He's going to be bodied off the puck. DeAndrea collects it, though, for Wilmington. Back out in front, and falling to the ice, Lawson steers it into the goaltender, Lawrence. Another face-off coming.
And that is an official shot on goal. So first shot on goal for Wilmington this period. But going back to what you mentioned about Schrock, I think you are right. They're limiting him a little bit. We haven't seen him on the ice as much this period. And you probably are right with it more than being more of a rest thing with 2 big games coming up against UNC, who really has dominated every opponent they have played. They are currently undefeated with a plus 25 goal differential. But I think for Wilmington, going into those next 2 games, I think they got to finish this game out really hard the last 4.5 and then just roll on into Chapel Hill.
Brenner finds Cam Lohr. Back to Brenner through his skates. Daniel has it. He'll fire away. Another flashy save with the glove from Dylan Clancy. And he's made some good ones. He's reminded me a little bit, though, of Igor Shesterkin. A little bit of extra flair sprinkled on the end of some of those glove saves. Makes him look pretty for sure.
Oh, it definitely does. And that's about 3 or 4 of those flashy glove saves that he's made. And hey, if it's working for him, it does work. His glove side has been phenomenal tonight. The stick side's where he's had trouble.
NC State passes it out of their own zone off the face-off win, and that'll give a chance here to Umshed, who backhands one on goal, easily knocked away with the pillows by Lawrence. NC State back in possession. Alex James trying to skate away from some pressure. He'll leave it for his D partner, Labrizzi. Thrown off the glass through neutral ice, and looks like we're going to have a penalty coming up. I say a slashing indication. And I think this is going to go against Wilmington. Yeah, I heard 18 white, which is actually Nolan Taberham. And he'll head to the box a little bit upset.
I think that's just another frustration penalty there for Wilmington. We've seen a couple of that in the third period, and now with 3:52, down 6, just kind of stay in check with your emotions. And it's just not going to work out sometimes for some of these players.
Well, and this will, occupy Wilmington for half of the remaining about 4 minutes, as NC State will go to work on the power play. Held in at the far blue line by Robinson. D to D with Cox. Elevates a pass across for Bailey on the far side. He'll turn with it, leaves it for Robinson at the blue line. Slid across for Cox. Back over to Bailey again. He'll fire away. Blocker save made by Clancy. Had some trouble with the rebound, but it's directed behind the net. Bessemer trying to clear the zone, but can't. Bouncing puck hops on Robinson, though. He'll misplay it. NC State has to check up on the delayed offside. Now an Ice Pack power play. Dumps it deep. They're unable to hold the zone. Maybe a shorthanded chance brewing for Roberts and UNC-Wilmington. Colin Roberts around the net, looking out in front for DeAndrea. I'm not sure he got a clean look at it. Couldn't put it home. Halfway through the power play for NC State. 2:50 left in the game as the Ice Pack break it out. Arini with some space. He's already got 2. He's got a hat trick in this game, or in a couple of games already this year. Looking for another one here tonight. Turnaround shot from Robinson, knocked down and covered by Clancy. And a face-off coming in the offensive zone for NC State.
Arini's coming off the ice. It kind of looks like his night might be done. He's a little upset he didn't get the hat trick, but still a phenomenal night. Another 2 goals for him. He's up to now 6 on the year.
Hard slapper there from James. Glove down by Clancy. Can't hold on to the rebound. Other chance deflected on the way through, and it'll be swallowed up by Clancy. Nick Shook with the shot. 33 seconds left on the power play. Worth noting, too, NC State with 8 goals tonight means we've activated the 5-goal promotion at home for NC State. So all of our NC State fans can get free queso at the Village District Moe's tomorrow. Shook, shot from the point, blockered away by Clancy. Still 25 seconds left on the man advantage. James up top again, has it poked away under some pressure from Jess Day. James retrieves it. Now he's got space and some speed down that right wing. He'll hook back with it. Dropped off for Shook. One-timer coming. That one was disrupted by a stick, and Wilmington going to clear it out into neutral ice with 5 seconds left on the man advantage. James turns it right back again. He's going to carry it into the slot. Has it caught up in his skates. Puck still loose in the slot. And NC State will have to retreat to the neutral zone for it. Arini over to Govea. Back across for Arini with some speed. He's going to step right through the defense. Had it knocked away by Kai Levy, who had some trouble with the clearance. He'll recollect. Now Graves sends it off the wall where it can be taken by Colbreth. Dispossessed by Thronson. NC State will control with 1:25 to go. It's Holden Kaufman. I think now, as NC State really has this game under control, they're going to come away with the win. Will advance them to 5-3 on the season. But they've got, Nick, a tough weekend coming up next weekend. When you look at the schedule, and NC State maybe a little bit of a gauge on how that weekend's going to go. They played Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, and they will face off against the meat of that conference that Kentucky is in next weekend as they take on Indiana, Louisville, and Kentucky once again on 3 consecutive days. So that'll be an interesting test for NC State after a pretty easy win. And now linesman's in the way. That gives Roberts a chance to break in. Oh, a nice save made by Lawrence. He squeezed the pads to close up the 5-hole, but almost were able to give an assist to the linesman if that one ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's been a couple of times tonight, including one time where he stopped the puck on what looked like it was going to be an icing. He's gotten in the way a couple times to some other players as well. Sometimes the linesmen don't have their sharpest games at the blue lines. Kind of seeing a little bit of that tonight. We go 33 seconds to go. But like you mentioned, going into next week, Kentucky is a very tough environment to play in. We saw NC State just kind of falter, not being able to put that game away. Up 2-1, ended up losing 5-2, and then going to Louisville the next day, and then Indiana the day after. Louisville, the team that they have seen before, they saw them 2 years ago, and they dominated them, but it's a completely new team. And then going into Indiana, a team you don't really see that often, if any. It's going to be a hard one, but they get the win tonight.
Yeah, so NC State will have some confidence going into next weekend. 8-2 final here against UNC-Wilmington. And Nick, after that tight first period, NC State, you could see we're starting to take a toll on Wilmington, the amount of time that they spent in Wilmington's end for sure.
Yeah, and I think especially in that second period, they, like Alex Fong said during that intermission report, they brought the intensity up. And with that long line change, Wilmington just had a lot of tired bodies out there. They weren't able to get bodies back. And it's a big reason why the Ice Pack win their first in-division game. And now for Wilmington, 2 more games coming up the next 2 days against Chapel Hill is going to be very tough with how tired they look tonight.
Yeah, so NC State winners 8-2 at home in their ACCHL opener for this 2023-24 season. As the teams shake hands, we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have post-game coverage, including interviews with players and coaches. One more time. Final score, NC State 8, UNC-Wilmington 2.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Well, we finished up just before midnight here at Invisalign Arena at NC State, a dominant 8-2 victory over UNC-Wilmington here tonight. Chris Lehman, Nick Prozzi with you post-game. And Nick, after that first period, it was pretty much all NC State.
Yeah, they came out with intensity that second period. They were able to capitalize on some power plays. They were able to get those chances that we saw in the first period that the puck kind of just bounced away or they weren't able to handle. They were going NC State's way, and I think that's a big reason why they jumped out to that 5-2 lead going into the second intermission. And then that last period, I feel like they were easily being able to put the game away with the penalties UNC-Wilmington took tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of penalties and special teams, NC State did a good job on the power play, 3 power play goals as well.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you can get 3 power play goals, pretty sure they went 3 for 8 or 3 for 9, if I'm not mistaken. Anytime you have a percentage really above 30% on the power play, that's something to be pretty proud about. And when you put up 8 goals tonight like the Ice Pack did, it's something that you can really take forward, especially since it's your first in-division game here in the ACCHL. I think moving forward, the Ice Pack are definitely going to take this game with some big momentum and kind of a bit of a statement win coming into this division play maybe.
Well, and someone who's been building momentum just on a personal level in net tonight, Addison Lawrence, second straight start. Maybe not quite as strong of a performance as he had against Liberty, but he really didn't have the opportunity to be quite as good. He still had a really great game.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was able, I believe Wilmington had 15 or 16 shots total in the game, and he saved all but 2 of them. One of them caught him by surprise, another one with a little bit of traffic up top from a really good shooter in Zachary Schrock. But at the end of the day, it's kind of that reason where the goalie just doesn't get as much experience saving those shots. You kind of have a lot of time, especially in that second period where NC State kind of dominated offensive zone time. You kind of just lose your edge in terms of saving shots compared to last week where you saw 52. You saved all but 2 as well last week, but he was seeing shots consistently. I think that's a bit of the reason why. I think also the reason why just the chances the Seahawks got tonight are the reason why he allowed 2 by him tonight. Still a phenomenal night in net for him.
Yeah, and one other thing we talked about coming into this game for NC State, maybe a few too many penalties in some of their games more recently, especially in the third period, though, when things got a little bit chippy as the game started to get away from Wilmington. NC State, they got into it a little bit, but they're able to avoid getting into the penalty box. So I think from a discipline standpoint, pretty good job tonight as well.
Oh, definitely speaking there, Chris. They did a fantastic job adjusting it. We talked to Coach Healy before the game. We even mentioned it here tonight, how they had about 11 minutes of 19 penalty minutes they took last week that was solely on them. There was just really bad, dumb penalties. And tonight, I think they maybe made one, if that, of a bad penalty tonight. They kept it very clean, and that's something that they need to build off of, playing clean hockey, just something they've had a little bit of trouble with going on this season so far. I think tonight, though, is a big building step in terms of building a more cleaner game.
Absolutely, and NC State certainly seems like every time we've seen them, they've built upon what they did the last game. They continue to get better. As we mentioned, a tough test coming up next weekend, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. We're going to step aside. We'll have goaltender Addison Lawrence on the other side.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top.
of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and
back here in Invisalign Arena, Nick Perazzi here with Icepack goaltender Addison Lawrence tonight, who built off of an impressive performance last week up in Lynchburg. He impressed again today. Addison, what was kind of the key going into this game after such a great performance last week and kind of building off of that today?
I guess not necessarily think about last week at all. Kind of just forget that it happened. Each game's different. You kind of got to go into it with the same mindset. And team played well in front of me today, so I was very thankful for that. Didn't have too many shots that I had to face, so that was pretty nice at some points.
Now, that also, from a broadcast standpoint, from what we were talking about during the game and in the post-game, we were talking about how a lack of consistent shots, does that kind of disrupt your kind of rhythm at all, seeing less shots versus more shots and kind of those less shots being more sporadic? Does that kind of mess you up at all?
I mean, it definitely can a little bit, but it's more just you have to try to stay focused through the whole entire game. When there's a stretch of 6 minutes where there's not a shot, I'm almost kind of begging for a shot in a sense. But you just got to stay focused. That's all you can do in those situations.
Another big win tonight, going into a big road series next week, assuming that we're going to see not only you but a couple of the other goalies in rotation. How does that kind of go into play for you, having to kind of play one day, sit the next day, maybe play the next day? Is that something that kind of gets in a rhythm for you? You kind of just lock in easily, or does that take some adjusting to get into?
I mean, I guess a little bit of both, but it's more just like there are 3 days with 3 games right in a row. It's kind of have to take what you can and hope that you at least play one, I guess you could say. So, I mean, whatever I get, I'm happy with. We'll see what happens next weekend, though.
All right, well, this was Addison Lawrence, the goaltender, the winning goaltender from the night for the Icepack. After this, we'll be with head coach Tim Healy to wrap things out.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We're back with head coach Tim Healy of the NC State Ice Pack after an 8-2 victory over the Wilmington Seahawks. And Coach, start by, we kind of talked about it a little bit before we started here, but rocky first period, you end up tied 1-1. What was the difference in those last two periods for your team?
The guys weren't settling to be average, right? The first period, they were settling to be average. And the second period and third, they wanted to be who they are, which are really good hockey players and at times great hockey players. And after the first period, you know, it was kind of out of them. It was no mas. I think after that, the first period, I think shots were 12-8, 12-7, something like that. And the rest of the game, I think they were 40-9 or 8. I mean, that's what we can be. And we've had teases of it and glimpses of it this year. And it was really satisfying to see it break out that way in the second and third.
Well, and we just ended up talking to your goaltender there, and Addison Lawrence, who has been really strong, particularly in the last two games. And he was one you mentioned to me preseason was a guy you expected to develop into a strong netminder for you guys. Are you a little bit surprised by how quickly he's become a really good netminder?
I'm not. If you look at his, you know, kind of his pedigree, and before we even go to Addison, right, we're so blessed because we have three number one goalies, right? I think anyone would love to have one of those guys. We have three number ones, and we've never had goaltending depth like that, and it's pretty special. You know, Isaac played great last Thursday night, pulled his groin. Addison goes in, you know, and Eric has been solid for us this year too. So great, you know. So it's awesome. You know, as far as surprise, no. You know, I think you meant. I think you know he's been putting in the extra work. He's been getting up doing an extra session at 6 a.m. on Monday mornings. Like he's a competitor. I think anyone that watched, he wants to find that puck in the crease, and you know his pedigree is so great. It's funny. We're coaches. I was looking at his elite prospects, and I saw his numbers from Carleton Place, and I'm like, his numbers are really good. Why did he only play 25 games that year? I clicked down, and his goalie partner was Devin Levi, who is the up-and-coming rookie for the Sabres. So my point is, like, working with him for that year, right, there's really a tremendous background that he brings to the table and brings to the crease.
Well, and another thing that was pretty strong for you guys today was special teams. You pick up 3 power play goals. How big is it as you go into a big next weekend to get that special teams rolling?
You know, we 3 power play goals, and we also did a better job of staying out of the box tonight. And, you know, UNCW is a team that can kind of bait you to get you to go to the box with them. We talked a lot about the difference between fake tough and real tough. You know, fake tough is getting into scrums and taking retaliatories. Real tough is taking a hit and putting it in the back of the net. And I thought we did a great job of that tonight.
Well, as I mentioned, a tough weekend coming up for you this upcoming next weekend. Head coach Tim Healy with us here at the end of an 8-2 win over Wilmington. But you got a really tough test. You got Louisville, Indiana, Kentucky, back-to-back nights. It's going to be a really difficult test.
It is. And what's great about that is, right, Kentucky went to nationals last year. Indiana went to the Final Four of their national championship last year. Made a great run. Louisville's off to a great start. They knocked off Kentucky, actually. So if you think about nationals and pool play, right, it's 3 games in 3 days. So that's a good test for that, right, to really see what you're made of. You have 2 national level teams. Indiana's been tearing it up this year. Kentucky, we owe some payback to. I think the guys know they left one out there. And Louisville with Brian Graham, they're the hosts, and they're a really well-coached team.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck next weekend.
All right. Thank you, Chris, and go Pack.
Yeah. And don't forget, 8 goals tonight for NC State means you can head to the Village District Moe's for your free queso tomorrow.
That's where I'll be for lunch. Want to be for lunch tomorrow? Bring BJ out. Let's go.
Sounds like a good time. NC State winners here tonight against UNC-Wilmington. Final count, 8-2. That's what I figured. Shook was the one down.